Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, I sent you a friend request, Sean.
Thank you.
Welcome to another live stream. There's not really any set topics this evening. What we're doing is we're just coming on. I'm going to do some tarot readings, and we're just going to talk about the Mandela Effect and any topics that come up as we're chatting. Just a little housekeeping. While you're here, if you enjoy this discussion, please take the time to thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, if you're not already subscribed. Check out the featured channels on my homepage for all the other channels to subscribe to and check them out. And please share as well. And just a little bit of housekeeping. Because I have problems with my sound on my laptop, I have to listen to people in my ears via Discord. And just for those people to know, there's quite a lot of background noise at the moment. So for those of you who are in Discord, what you need to do is to mute. No, hold on. Don't mute yourself in Discord. Deafen the others so there's no echo. But you, if you can hear me, you can deafen me, but just keep yourself unmuted. So that way I can hear you when you talk in Discord, but there's no background noise and echoing. Okay, so while we get set up, does everybody want to introduce themselves? Who we've got here tonight is we've got Bob, we've got Burma, we've got Captain, we've got, we know him as Sean, but on here he's Hidden 691. We've got Magi, we've got Michelle, and we've got me. So I think the only one who hasn't been on here before is yourself. Do you want us to call you Hidden? Well, how would you like to be called on here? Okay, Hidden. Sorry, guys. Hidden. Has only not done this before. Hidden. When you talk, you need to have yourself unmuted on the Hangouts, so the audience can also hear you, not just me.
That's my bad. No, I would like to be called Sean because Hedon was something I did when I was a kid, and I don't know how to change it. So
you press the button.
Okay, no problem. So we'll call you Sean. And just to the viewers, hello, thank you, Michelle, for being on mod again. There's a few of us who are mods in the chat. Hello, Lenny, nice for you to join us. And hi, Bim Bim. Okay, so I'm going to start off by doing a tarot reading. Now, this is a generalized reading for both our community here and across the world, and it will cover the next week.
Stuff is happening?
Yep, I am shuffling.
Just give me that look.
Yeah, because she was looking at you. Is it warm there, Mel? Is it warm where you're at?
No, not weather-wise. It's not. I'm not sure what the temperature is.
You look like it's warm outside. You got the tank top going on.
I always wear these. I just put a cardigan on if I get cold.
That's a very nice necklace.
Thank you very much. This is the Metatron's Cube necklace. And this is my Organite necklace to protect me from
That's nice.
the dangers of Wi-Fi.
You know what?
Electromagnetic radiation.
I watched another show on that and talking about, and I didn't know this. Did you guys know that the Schumann resonance and our frequency are linked, that they match frequencies, megahertz? Like it's 78.3 or something like that, but our humans and the Schumann resonance are the same. So when the Schumann resonance goes up, what do you think happens to us?
Ours goes up as well.
Mm-hmm.
We get better Wi-Fi reception.
Yeah, that's why we need to be careful of the Wi-Fi connections.
I hear it's I think it's 7.83, but recently it's been fluctuating up like from like 10 to like 33 in between there.
It's been crazy lately.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the energy today, Grandma, that you noticed?
I mean, we can. It's, whatever. You can lead into it if you'd like.
Go for it. Well,
not like putting just put on that free Timmy. I was telling everybody that I was a little off today.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It just felt a bit. Go on, you describe what you felt.
I could just say that I was asking the group how they were feeling about the energy today, because I was feeling that things were just a little off. Not negative, not super positive, just kind of off. And I asked for 4 different people at my work, and they all said the same thing. Now, without being prompted. Like I wouldn't, I was just asking them, how are you feeling today? They're like, oh, I'm feeling a little off today, so. What about you, Michelle?
I felt.
Ask Michelle to come in and say something now.
Yeah, how did you feel, Michelle, today?
Hey, you don't have to put yourself back on. What the crap? I came on because you came on. Now I'm going to take myself off too.
Okay, here. Hi.
Okay, yeah, put it on there.
You know what?
No, not yet. Oh, there. You kind of remind me of, now, you look different here than you do when you do your videos. And I don't know if it's the lighting outside, but this picture, oh my God, you resemble my aunt. Like, it's like glasses and the smile, the whole nine. I mean, her hair's darker than yours, but that's a nice thing. My aunt's very pretty. So.
You guys just make stuff up to sound kind.
Yeah, that's because we want to be like you, Bob. Make things up all the time.
You should hear these guys in Discord. It ain't like this, I'll tell you.
Be careful, Bob. You might want to be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm rearing the
It's true. I make stuff up.
Yeah.
You guys, I'll forget the question if I don't get to answer it. Like I have the attention span of a gnat. Okay.
Okay. So energy.
She wants to know if you've been channeling her aunt that you resemble.
No, I did not say that.
The energy.
That's what I heard.
It's like I felt kind of dizzy, one foot in one side and another on another side, and it wasn't a good or bad feeling. It was just odd. It was like, what is going on? And so yeah, it was pretty amazing. I liked it, but like she said, it's not a good or a bad thing. It was just different.
Just that you noticed it. Yeah. What about you, Bob? Of course, you like to make things up, so I don't know if I even trust what you're about to say.
Well, the energies have been going up and down, and they've been accelerating. It seems that we're able, if we practice enough, to not get drowned by the wave and stay on top of it, and to recognize when things go down, they're going to come back up. It's critical to stay positive. It's easy to start questioning purpose and what's the point, and is it all worth the suffering and the pain, and all sorts of negative thought that isn't really ours. It's what's been broadcasted throughout the media. It's been broadcasted through social media channels. And you talk fundamentals of what's going on, and it comes down to love and fear. Which are you going to choose? Because one can't be present when the other is there. So the best way I can describe it, a while back, it felt as something was stuck. The energy wasn't flowing properly. These times around that the energies are coming in and they're not going away. They keep creating a new baseline, and it's very empowering in the sense that it allows you to stay in the spiritual world and grounded simultaneously. For me, this is what the energy's been able to be best utilized with. And the advantage of that is that you bring out the joy, the unity that in the ethereal world is supposed to be remembered by all of us when we meditate, if we meditate, and longing to go back to that unity where there is no misunderstandings, there are no competitive scenarios where we feel that we have to out-debate somebody else. We realize that the truest gift that anybody can have when they're down here is to get to know another human being and all that infinite that shines through them. Everybody has something beautiful to offer. We're all infinite in nature, so you can't compare one with the other because we're priceless in that term. Now all we have to do is put our focus on others and stop worrying about ourselves. The ego will give way to humility, which is letting go of self-importance, which allows us to have a childlike stance to learn a new form of communication that is coming down. It's an energetic form of communication, which has enhanced what people like to call abilities. And it has. It's where the interest goes. It's where the focus goes towards. It brings clarity. It brings more download, so to speak. But in turns, this energy is here to stay. It's not going to go away, and it is ramping up almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah, very well said, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Right, should I do this tarot reading?
Yes, Magi.
You think you could?
Yes,
I know
Magi?
you
Magi, do you want to do the tarot reading?
I don't know. Can she hear you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, if you're talking, Magi, I can't hear you.
I would like to say that Magi doing a tarot reading would be the most fantastic thing I've heard all day.
It would. Even Bob doing one would be fantastic.
Magi,
And actually,
gotta
if you
unmute yourself
put
on
them
this one.
together.
Because Melanie
Sean,
can't
I
hear
can't
you.
hear you.
There you go, Magi.
It's not letting me. There it goes.
There you go.
Oh, I can hear Magi now.
I was going to ask if you could elaborate on the difference between returning to the childlike state and a childish state. If you would, please.
We've reached a point where simplicity is critical. Seeing through the eyes of a child and being childish versus childlike is monumentally different. It starts off with the physical paradigm, which we believe is the majority of reality that we have been injected into, while in reality we've grown into it. It's that process of growth that we have forgotten and in turn have conceptualized into thoughts and ideas. And there's a great deal of well-known philosophers that say thoughts don't exist. They're imaginary. They're constructs that have no relative impact other than what we allow it to project into our reality. When we want to maintain control of what we internalize and to basically control the projection, the external world, we are putting our focus and attention followed by willpower. Someone who is childish, they don't follow through what they've accepted to be their responsibility. They do not want to listen to anybody else share their specific perspective, and they are convinced that they are their ego. They haven't learned to separate their consciousness from their ego, to realize that the ego is just a tool to be applied, instead of the ego being what is being worshipped. That idol that we're worshiping is all ego based. A child does not have that perspective. When we were younger, around 4, 5, 6, and we'd go into an old world of fantasy and dreams, where everything was possible and we could just imagine without boundaries. There is a specific sensation that I'm willing to wager many of us can get back in touch with at one level or another. However, to get there, there's so many emotional waves and crests and valleys and peaks that it becomes tiresome if we get entangled by it and try to control the means of how we're perceiving this reality. In essence, we learn to let go of both the good and the bad experiences, so we don't get entangled in a specific perspective, and get to the point where we're eager and in awe of learning something that is completely new. A new paradigm, a new dimension, a new way of thinking that we hadn't considered before. The more it becomes part of the collective consciousness, the more affirmations we get, the more synchronicities we get. Somehow, suddenly, we are in the know. We start to read or watch videos, and before it's over, we know what the theme of the information is. And a lot of people are starting to grok. They're starting to just touch concepts, and they know intuitively, as if we're being remembered instead of um, taught something new. And it's all the process of going back to childlike ways without childish uh, baggage that puts shame on us. It burns us with feeling guilty and bringing our vibration down. But a child that is into their imagination and looking forward to seeing their friends on the playground and just completely losing themselves without any sense of body, time, or space. It's all about laughter and chasing and just being in the moment.
That's one of the reasons why I love you, Bob.
Excellent.
Cool. Sean, I don't know if you're aware, but you need to unmute yourself in Discord for me to hear you. Thank you. Cool, I can hear you now. Okay, so I'm gonna just do Mr. Farrell reading. I can't. It's difficult for me to. I'll hold the cards up to show you what I've picked out. My camera isn't great on this, so it's not HD, so I'll do my best. This is the Oracle card. It actually says focus and then act. So this Oracle card it gives more information and clarity on the issue the spread will be talking about. So it reads like this. That's number 12. 7. There is something you want or need to make manifest, but to make your dreams a reality, you must focus your will upon that desire and do what needs to be done. Prayer alone will not give you that which you desire. There are things that you must do in order to have your hopes realized. Now is not the time for stillness or passivity. Now is the time to focus your will, your thoughts and emotions, and to get up and take the necessary steps. Now, the first card in the Tower spread is the Queen of Fire. This is a fire card. And so this would be an area that we as a global community need to work on. An issue that is not one of our strengths at this time. So let's have a look. I thought I earmarked the page, but oh, I did. Right, there we go. Okay, so keywords for this one is warm, vibrant, sexual, sensual, independence, primal, expansive, and energetic. The key phrases are be optimistic and enthusiastic, engage and stimulate all senses, give your full attention, be focused and confident, take pleasure in life, don't second guess yourself, hold your head up high, avoid petty behavior. And the Queen of Fire represents a strong and powerful woman. She is someone who is not afraid to go after that which she desires most. She is focused and determined and very optimistic. Those around her find her charismatic and engaging. Her warm and expansive nature draws people to her like moths to a flame. She is independent. She is a primal, sensual woman. Her independent nature makes her a natural leader, not a follower. She is confident and self-assured. She is confident that she will achieve all that she sets her mind to. She is loved by many. When the Queen of Fire appears in your reading, she is asking you to be optimistic and positive. Now it is time to focus on the pleasures of life and enjoying what you do. Be bold and be daring. Be fearless. Now is not the time to second guess yourself or allow doubts to prevent you from acting upon an idea or plan that you know will bring positive change and growth to your life. She also suggests that you seek out a Queen of Fire type if you need help. She has a vast network of friends and associates, and she is only too happy to point you in the right direction if you are looking for aid. Don't be afraid to ask for her guidance. The Queen is the kind of person who takes just as much delight in another's success as she does in her own. She symbolizes living a full life and being fully present in every moment. Live a sensory life. Stimulate your senses, all of them. See, hear, listen, touch, taste. Your senses are a true gift. Put them to use. Okay, and the next card represents an area that is, as a community, our strength. And this is the Ace of Fire. The keywords: new beginnings, initiative, action, conception, invention, creation, creativity, and procrastination. The key phrases: new beginnings or opportunities, actively pursue your goals, take advantage of what's being offered, move beyond research and planning, weave your future into being, take something old and make it better, break with tradition and offer something new. Uncertainty inspires procrastination. Meaning, like all the Ace cards, the Ace of Fire represents a promise of new beginnings and opportunities. But unlike the other aces, this card also represents action. It represents the powerful and the necessity of taking the initiative and actively pursuing our goals. It is about taking advantage of the opportunities we are presented with, as opposed to thinking about it. It is good to have a goal, to dream, and to make plans. But the Ace of Fire lets us know that now is the time to move beyond research and planning. It is time to take the first real steps towards getting things underway. It is time to follow through on inspiration and create. It is time to weave your future into being. Time for you to begin your active participation. The Ace of Fire also symbolizes inventiveness. Take an old idea and make it better, or create something new and unique. Whatever you seek to do, you can now make it your own and imbue it with your unique perspective and imagination. Now, rather than following tradition, do something in a way that offers a new approach. You are surrounded by so much potential at this moment. The Ace of Fire represents passion and excitement. It is a time full of energy and life. Take advantage of this moment and the power it brings. So to me, that card represents our community's ability to manifest and co-create. And I think the first card, the Queen of Fire, suggests that one area we need to work on is the way we feel about it and about the world, our optimism. Because if we want to create a better world, then we have to do so in a positive way, with love, rather than fear and anxiety. And then this last card ties the two together, so it gives you us an idea of how to do that, how to maximize our strengths and make our weaknesses a strength also. And this card is another fire card, the Ten of Fire. I'll just show that one to you quickly. It's a beautiful card. It's actually supposed to be that way, but I drew it upside down.
It's like the chakras. Is that what it has on there? It looks like chakras.
Yeah, the chakras, yeah. The keywords: doing, self-mastery, mastery, evolution, enlightenment, light work, light being, and discipline. Key phrases: mastery of both craft and self. Take command of yourself and life. Take responsibility for your actions. Do not be a slave to outside forces. Order, structure, and simplicity. Be disciplined and dedicated. Stop making excuses. Act. You can do anything you set your mind to act upon. The Ten of Fire symbolizes mastery, not just of a skill or a craft, but of oneself. It means understanding the tools of your craft and wielding them with skill, precision, and craftsmanship. It is about knowing yourself and using that knowledge and understanding to bring to you all that you need and desire, with the same level of skill, precision, and craftsmanship. The master illustrated in the Ten of Fire knows how to wield his personal power. He moves with clear intentions and he acts with the same intent. He is aware of what motivates his behavior and actions and exhibits complete self-command. He acts with deliberation and with complete awareness of the effect his actions will have upon himself and his environment. He is not only confident, he is capable also. He has evolved from a person who lacked awareness and perhaps even blamed others for the problems in his life because he was unable to see that every action gives rise to a consequence. He once stumbled about, his inexperience resulting in more mistakes than triumphs. But he continued, and in doing so, reached a crucial moment of enlightenment, when he realized that in order to succeed, he had to take command of himself and his life. He had to take responsibility for every choice made, for every action, and for every emotion. From that moment on, he would shape his life. He would shape who he was. He would no longer be a slave to outside forces. He would become a master. If a Ten of Fire appears in your reading, he indicates a time to step up and take charge of your life. It is a time to dedicate yourself to the path of the master, not so you can have control over others, but so you can shape your life with skill and confidence. And In general, when the 10 of fire is drawn, consider it a message to act and to not make excuses. To be a master, you have to be willing to work with your mind and hands with an almost religious observance. There is no other way. The 10 of fire also symbolizes reaching that point where dedication and hard work have created ease and surety. That moment when you can look at the task before you and say with confidence that you understand what you have to do and you are capable of doing it well. It's a powerful moment. Take the time to acknowledge and enjoy it. Now this one was drawn blocked. So to clarify that for this reading, there are two reasons, two purposes of this appearing reversed. The first is to remind you that a master is only a master of self and the tools he wields. He is master to no other. Therefore, be careful not to extend your desire for control onto others, nor expect them to be as disciplined. You exhibit the self-control of a true master by letting go of the need to control others. Everyone is different, and some work to their best ability in a manner that seems random, chaotic, and lacking in any real purpose or direction. Do not attempt to impose the same limits and restrictions you are willing to embrace upon others. The second reason for its appearance is to tell you to remove the words "I cannot" from your vocabulary and to monitor your inner dialogue for defeatist or pessimistic beliefs. You will not succeed if you believe you will fail before you have even tried. Instead, do whatever you set your mind, body, and spirit to doing, and you will succeed even when you fail, because failure offers knowledge. Use that knowledge to formulate a new plan or direction. Use that knowledge to determine if you should embrace a different or less conventional or rigid way of working. So I think that latter meaning gives more clarity to the first card, the Queen of Fire, that it's about self-belief and being optimistic and believing that as a community we can create a better world if only we believe it, because we already know we have the ability to do it with the Mandela Effect and co-creation of consciousness. Captain, you read tarot. What do you think of that? Have you got any more insights?
He must be on his 5-minute break.
Has anybody else got any insights to say about that?
Picking a buoy line.
I think it sounds good. It's a reading, you know. Which you know, what are you going to say about it? I mean, it sounds good, and I think it totally says a lot about our group and stuff like that, and what needs to be worked on.
I missed a lot. Sorry to interrupt you. I missed a lot of it because I was helping my wife with the groceries. So last thing I heard in completion was the Queen of Fire and the Ace of Fire, actually. And personally, those mean a lot to me because here soon I'm actually changing careers and going into beekeeping. So it gives me a lot of insight that if I stick my head into it and I take charge and I do what I need to do, I'm going to be successful at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I read it. I think that, you know, with this community online, we know we can manifest. We know we can change things. But so many of us are still caught in that trap of fear and anxiety and self-doubt. That I think that's why the Mandela Effect is very hit and miss. So, and things are oscillating between one form or another, and sometimes two or three, because at the moment I see it as being completely chaotic. You know, humanity, for whatever reason, has developed this ability to a large scale to manifest, but the majority of people aren't even aware they're doing it, and that those who are, a great proportion, I think, aren't really believers yet, and they're doing it out of fear and anxiety, rather than out of love and compassion for the world. What do you guys think of that?
Magi.
I agree with that sentiment, and I'm sure it has to do with a lot of how people were raised. Because in my personal experience when it comes to this sort of thing, when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to true spirituality. A lot of people are held down by some of the more harsh teachings of the major religions, and I think that the major religions have a large part to play, as in causing self-doubt, fear, and anxiety, and guilt, and things like that. Because a lot of things we as humans do naturally is considered negative or sinful in most modern day major religions. And I think that has a very large part to do with why people manifest out of fear and anxiety, but refuse to accept it as manifestation, or refuse to see it for what it really is.
Well, so they don't understand
I agree,
energy,
I
right?
agree with that.
They don't understand the way energy works, right? From what we push out of our solar plex chakras is exactly what we get back. So if you're pushing out negativity, you can't bring yourself up out of that, then you're constantly be doing the circle thing where you're repeating and repeating and constantly being in that perpetual spot, right?
Yeah. And I'm reading a book at the moment called Yahweh to Zionism, and it mentions in there that like the Abrahamic religions, they kind of have this mindset that when anything bad happens to them as a people, they, like whatever group or tribe or an Abrahamic kind of, then it's, sorry, I got confused there because I'm still getting used to, I'm hearing people in my ear, but they're not unmuting on live shows, so you can't hear them. However, so what I was saying was that the author of this book suggests that in the Abrahamic religions, and specifically he's talking about the Judaic faith, but this to some extent will extend to like the other Abrahamic religions like Islam and Christianity, Roman Catholicism, that the viewpoint is that when anything bad happens, then it's their fault. So God punishes them. For example, in old biblical times, if they were attacked by another people, it would be as a result of their failings to adhere to Yahweh or God's edicts, and they have been punished. So rather than, you know, something that they might have done to another people, so it's kind of like this self-guilt, this constant guilt that we feel, and a lot of religions, I think, could feel that way, so that people live in fear of God's retribution.
And I think that's the wrong way for people to even approach religion, or for them to teach it that way, with bringing people to the church with fear. I mean, that's, the way that I see it, that's what pushed me away from that. You know, it's what made me to become spiritual, is that whole, you know, if you don't do this and you don't do that, you know, you're considered a sinner. Well, we all are. You know, but isn't it the reason that we're here is to learn? And without sinning, you have no learning, you have no growth, you have nothing, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, fear's not. I mean, fear can be a good thing. Actually, in the group of people that I meet with on Tuesdays, and today is one day that we didn't have it, there is this guy that's actually mentoring people on how to use their fear in a good way instead of using their fear in a bad way. Like, I guess, like meditation, and trying to recognize and move from that forward, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I've noticed, and sorry to interrupt you. In all major religions, it's a reward-based system where you do what you need to do throughout your entire life, and one of two things is going to happen to you. Well, in Catholicism, it's three, but in most, it's two. One, you go to heaven, or two, you go to hell. And or damnation, because every single modern day religion has a version of hell and or damnation. So if you don't do what the church's doctrines are, you go to hell. And when you accept yourself into that faith, it doesn't matter which one it is, you automatically accept that and put yourself into that fear-based mind, because no one wants to burn for an eternity in any reality or any plane of existence. So as soon as you put yourself into the position of where you're part of a major religion, you're going to be living by that fear. So it is in my personal experience, when I released myself from Christianity and I started becoming spiritual, like Burma, like you, like most people that I like to converse with, you get a sense of freedom, because you've been released from this feeling of self-doubt, this anxiety, this, what if I do this, am I going to go to hell? Because you come to the terms with the fact that there is no hell to go to. You're here to learn and exist and be human, because
Like coming out of being under a God spell.
there you go. What I found is people are so afraid to be humans these days because they're afraid they're going to get punished for it. And that has pushed people so far away from being a human being.
That's the indoctrination from the time that we're young. And everywhere we're in, the schools and churches, you know, you're really taught to respect the man. You know what I mean? Listen to the man, you know, and not to actually get in there and question things for yourself. Be the sovereign human being that you are. They don't teach you those types of things. Not in this country. How about you, Mel? They teach you that in that country, in England?
England's a very secular society. So it's different from America, definitely. Like, I was surprised when I started to get to know Americans online, and just how, to me, initially, it seemed like every American I met was really religious. And it took time to realize that even though you might talk in those terms, you're not specifically religious, you're spiritual. But just the way that Americans talk sometimes, and the words you use to an English person comes across as a bit like, oh, they're all Bible bashers. You know, like, I don't mean to offend Americans, but it's just the way it comes across sometimes until you get
You're
to
totally offending me.
Because I think it's so ingrained in your culture. You
It
know,
really is.
it's like,
when you're
almost
founded
all
by
Americans read
Puritans,
the
what are we
Bible.
supposed to do? That, and we're founded by English people, so it's all your fault to begin with.
Yeah, but we've moved away from it. It's like over here, somebody who reads the Bible is viewed as being a bit odd. You know,
Really?
if I'm doing the Bible readings on here, but if people knew that, they would look at me like, oh, God, she's turning all religious.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, East Coast, there's a lot of, like, Catholic, Christian, people like that. You go into the center of this country, though, that's what we call the Bible Belt. And the Bible Belt, let me
That's
tell
where
you,
I live. That's
yeah,
where
the
I live.
Bible Belt's something else, man. Because if
That's
you're
where I
not
live.
religious in the Bible Belt, they consider you're like a witch out that way. And this is how it is. It's not everybody. It's not everybody. It's just how the Bible Belt is.
On top here.
Bible Belt.
Let me tell you how
It's like
bad.
Texas with dry country.
I live in Alabama, right? I live in the center of the Bible Belt, and I kid you not, I can drive 2 towns over and see more churches than homeless shelters. Not even kidding. And what's funny is where I am. There's also a thing called college football in Alabama. You got Alabama and you've got Auburn. Vast majority of the people are one or the other. And I've actually called a couple people out because it shows the hypocrisy that I see on a daily basis, because I know I have a lot of Alabama fans that are friends. And I asked them, have you ever wanted to miss an Alabama game? Have you ever woke up and on a Saturday, I don't want to watch Alabama football? They told me no. I was like, and then I asked them, are you a good Christian? Yes. Have you ever woken up on Sunday and not wanted to go to church? Well, of course you have. And then I told them, you can't be a good Christian and be a good Alabama fan. And that's actually how I lost quite a few Alabama fan friends and Auburn fan friends. It just shows that in that one instance shows the hypocrisy of the Christian church these days. In the 10 Commandments, it says, have no God before me. But a lot of people will skip out on Bible studies in church, a Bible study in church on Wednesdays, or Catholic Mass on Saturdays because they have other things to do. They don't have the time. They have work for whatever case. And that's, you know, you're putting work before your God and time before your God. And if you're putting work before your God, you're therefore putting money before your God. And Christians, no major religious person likes to be called out on their hypocrisies. I've noticed that. They are the most judgmental people in the world, and they hate it when you call them out. But spiritual people, like all the people I talk to on Discord, if you call them out on their hypocrisy, they will love you for it.
Because you're teaching people, you're trying to teach people to see a different perspective. And if you're only in your body, which we all are, and you only had you would never ever see any different. You would only see the way you see. When you can talk to other people, you can bounce things off of. But unfortunately, Christians, and I used to be one of them, they tend to be hypocrite. Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy in the church. But the other thing is that you know, it's good that they're getting together and they if they want to go to that on Sunday, but to say that you have to go to church in order to believe God and that God exists, no, that's not right. And then for them to put down other religious, say our way is the only way. Christians have a bad thing about that. They'll say our way is the only way. Unless you accept Jesus into your life and you get saved, that's the only way you're getting to heaven.
Come on.
I know that hopefully, you know, I don't offend anybody by saying that, but come on. You know.
New voice. I want to say, Mel, can I interject here on this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, as we are learning and evolving, it's if they want to go down that road and you know, that's the journey that they're taking, okay. You know, one of the practices that I do now is raise up my perspective and look down and see us all dancing together. The hypocrisy and all of those things, we're kind of being hypocritical by judging them for being hypocrites. So when you start to look at things from the perspective of, you know what, if they're enjoying themselves and they're doing their thing, that's okay. It's okay. I wanted to get back to the reading. It was a beautiful reading. And what we are developing as a community is a council of leaders. It's not that anybody's higher than another. We all switch hats. Sometimes we're teaching, you know, what things that we learn that we know, and sometimes we're learning so that we can grow. I mean, it's just this beautiful dance that we're doing now in our community. And it's not a higher or lower way of looking at each other. We're looking at each other as colleagues, as peers, and it's a beautiful thing. It's an absolute. So I was going to comment earlier, you know, on your reading with that, because it says so much about what is going on within our little community. Which, guys, Mel puts on from Mel's Table Talk. She puts the link to join her Amber's place, and I recommend people come in there. If you're stumbling around or having confusion, get in there. It's amazing, and it's just, you know, and everybody is respected and loved, and we all wear the different hats at the different times. It's beautiful.
Thanks, Michelle. Yes, we'll put the link in the live chat as well. Thanks for the comment on the reading as well. I appreciate that. I don't know about I don't view that we necessarily were being hypocritical for looking down on religious people. I think we were just talking about our experiences where religious people can be hypocritical, but without the tendency to self-reflect on that and to take criticism, whereas people who are I mean, these are massive generalizations, but people who aren't or left religion tend to be more open to self-reflection and recognizing, or be willing and open to recognize hypocrisy. But I agree with you that it's important that we don't look down on groups of people, because that also came out in the tarot reading, that their beliefs are different from ours. I agree with that completely. It's important we don't, but that doesn't necessarily mean we don't try to understand each other, because we're never going to be able to live in harmony unless we understand each other and our mindsets. But that has to be fostered, this mutual understanding and respect. And I think when another group generally doesn't show that kind of respect to other groups, then I think it's right that they are criticised for that. And including our spiritual community as well.
If there's to be criticism, you know, let it be constructive. I do believe as well as any religion could be a mere stepping stone for some into their spirituality and finding themselves, their inner spirituality. Some don't want, you know, they're not ready to go to the next level. We all have, you know, attested to that. You know, some people just don't. It's too much for them to comprehend or want even to think of. Or some, you know, say the Mandela Effect. They recognize it, but they really just don't want to get into it. So everybody is, I believe, everybody's on their path at their time, and they'll be drawn to where they need to be to help them step up if they're ready. These little probes that maybe say one of us or somebody that's awakened attempt to awaken them up, to probe it, and okay, they see it, but then they go back into the regular, for lack of a better word, drone type lifestyle. That's their choice, and they're not ready. If they start to embrace it, start to look it up, then they're ready for that step. But it's obviously at the end of the day up to them. We can't force it. Like I said, it's just a stepping stone for some. So, you know, me, I like to skim through different religions, different spiritualities, and see the similarities, and kind of go through my own experiences, my own spiritual experiences, and try to discern it myself, and come up to my own type of conclusions, and as I believe we all should, and finding our piece of the puzzle to put together.
I think you're right, Cap. I
Thanks,
really do.
Captain. Anyone else want to jump in on this?
I wish there was a way to teach people that are stuck in the major religions, or not teach them, but give them a broader view of their reality. Because reality is not black and white. It's every color of the rainbow plus, you know? People say that, you know, there's good and evil. There's your perception of good and evil. Because let's use a very evil person by most people, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, to a lot of people, was a very evil person. He committed some very evil acts. But in his own mind, they weren't that evil. And let's say Gandhi. Gandhi was a very good guy. But there are some people in this world that believe he was an evil person for the things that he taught. The perception of good and evil is just that. It's based on your own perception of it. Just like reality, but reality isn't just black and white. You can blind yourself to the truth that it is more than just black and white, but I wish I could just help them see that reality is so much more beautiful than what they think it is, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not really, I look down on people that are in major religions. I hurt for them. I hurt for them because I want them to know more, and I want them to see from the bigger perspective, but because of their own reasons, they won't. And it's not that I look down on them. It hurts me because I know that they're lacking in knowledge, and I'm a teacher, not by trade, of course. It's something I like to do. And
that's when you got to be led. You got to be led to teach them the right way. or that's the wrong thing to say. You got to be led to teach the individual who is ready to have that information. That not all people, I mean, they're all on their own paths, as we were saying before, right? So they're on these different paths. If they are in this one spot here, and the time frame that they need to do the religion change is way up here, and you give it to them here, they're not even going to respond to that because they're not ready yet. So I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to help you to, because I get it. Trust me, I get it. Like, I'm a teacher too. I teach people while they're on my table about stress, about all kinds of stuff. And if they're not ready to hear the information, it's not going to, I mean, it is like planting a seed sometimes, but you got to be careful. It's like the Mandela Effect. You have to be careful who you bring into it, because it could totally throw them for a loop. Right? So that's what I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the same as the pain, you know, the hurt. It's more of a grieving, and it takes time to kind of comprehend that it's on their own time. So it's kind of like a mind versus body thing. But I understand now that it's on their own time. I still try to spark people, but it's I also still have that grieving that I wish I could do more to you know, help them along the way.
Yeah, we all want people to be in that spot where they feel comfortable, where they're spiritually comfortable, right? You know, I would like that for everybody. I mean, maybe for some people in some lives, it is the religion thing, and that's where they need to be in that life for maybe their whole entire life, because that's where their lessons are at for that life. You know, maybe some of us being older souls, maybe we went through that, and you know, maybe our lessons in this life are different than the lessons. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
That's how I see it, you know.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I appreciate your perspective.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, I want to add something. It was about, when was that, Mel, when you did that regression session with Sup and I? Well,
Oh, that was about 2 nights ago, wasn't it?
it was a little longer than that. Maybe about 4 days ago. We did this regression session that Mel led us through. And I saw me picking my mother to come in and have this experience that I'm having. So, I mean, it was amazing. Who would have thought, you know, that her doing that, you know, regression session would take hold. And we were in the community, the Discord room, and oh my gosh, it was like so beautiful. The things that I saw, it was just, a lot of them I can't describe. They were beyond my understanding. But I saw myself pick my mother and come into this life. And I was like, what? So, you know, whether I came in and forgot everything so I can experience it more thoroughly, more deeply, the care package was dropped on me, whether I asked for it to be dropped on me at some certain time before I came in here, or anytime you reach out, that care package. But in the meantime, you know, if it would have come early for me, or somebody was trying to tell me that, wait, no, this is how you have to do it, you're doing things wrong, blah, 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 whatever, I wouldn't have received it. I wouldn't have been ready. I mean, you almost have to, it's like you have to want it. And it's not something we can bulldoze over onto people and force them to do. You got to want to break that programming. And whether, you know, before we come in, if we have care packages dropped on us, you know, hey, wake me up at this certain time and it's time for me to move forward, well, then maybe we set that up before we even come in. It's pretty amazing. Just and when she did that, I didn't expect, I expected something different. I actually didn't even think that I would be able to go and see, but I should have, because she's done several meditations and they've been just wonderful. But this was something really, really different. So if anybody gets a chance to let her do that for them, I say do it, because I mean, yeah, you'll see some pretty amazing stuff. Yes, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. Just to FYI.
Me too. Me too. It's a shame that yeah, you got a bit interrupted in that session. So we do intend to plan another one. So if anyone does want to participate in that, the best thing to do is join the Discord. So that you can be there when I put out notices of doing it. We will try to put it on, well, we'll do that eventually to get it onto YouTube. A meditation. And when I do the regression again, we are going to try and do it on YouTube so that everyone can participate, either live at the time or after the fact. Because I did it on World Regression Day. So there were multiple regression or hypnosis or meditations offered for free on that day. It was about a week or so ago, a week to 10 days ago, run by what's it called, Burma? The website?
Quantum healing. It was quantum healing through Dolores Cannon. Yeah, it's what she founded.
Quantum Healing Practitioners, isn't it? .com.
Yeah.
And it's like a forum.
Something like that. QHHT.
Yeah, it's BQ, I think, Beyond Quantum Healing. But anyway, these two sessions were run by, the first one was run by Alison Coe. She's the lady, the quantum healer, who was talking a lot about the events occurring in possibly March. And then the second one I did was run by Pamela Arlen. And the Alison Coe was absolutely incredible. I mean, she is such a good guide. I went down into deep hypnosis so quickly, like quicker than I've ever experienced before. And I experienced, because it was regression to the past life, she advised you to go into it with a question to answer. So I went in with the question of, why am I so sick this lifetime? Because I suffer fibromyalgia and have done for many years. And it took me back to my first life on this planet. And I experienced the death of myself. I won't go into details because it's quite an emotional, traumatic death. But the main message I got out of the whole meditation, because the visuals I experienced merging with Gaia as an entity, a consciousness inhabiting the center of the earth in this meditation, with cords of energy connecting from Gaia to all the life forms on the planet. And I experienced that when you die, all the emotions you have, you return straight to Gaia. And that when you merge with Gaia, all of those emotions and experience and memories are kind of uploaded. It's like a cloud. They're uploaded into this cloud. And you lose all those emotions. They're just gone. And all you experience, because I experienced merging with Gaia with this sense of complete acceptance and unconditional love for all humans and all life on this planet, because with Gaia, there isn't really any good or evil. It's all just knowledge and experience. And the reason for it all is because Gaia evolves like we do. Our consciousness goes through stages of ascension, of growth, of awareness, consciousness. So for every lifetime lived, that knowledge and experience returns and is uploaded into her awareness. She grows. And this is what's happening at the moment on the planet. Gaia has reached a level where she's surpassing into a new era of conscious awareness. And because we are all part of Gaia, we're all connected to her, that's what's happening to us. We're evolving because she's evolving. And the other thing I realized was that for every lifetime we incarnate into, we bring with us remnants, energetic remnants of our previous lifetimes. I don't know if that's every lifetime or just particularly traumatic ones. I don't know. But for me, what I experienced was that for myself, I was surrounded by like I visualized it almost as like onion layers, like the layers of the skin of an onion, and each layer represented like a karmic residue of a previous life. And the object of that is to begin to understand that, so that you can deal with those issues, resolve them energetically, so that those onion layers peel off. Because the thicker your onion skin, the more impediment there is between your communication with your higher self, your guides, and Gaia. So the more onion layers you peel off, then the clearer that connection becomes. And that is what I would term the path to ascension, because the more you deal with it, the more balanced you become. You're dealing with your emotional traumas of the past. And that is the road to go, to peel away those onion layers. I'm not saying I know specifically how to do that. I'm just saying this is what I saw in the meditation. Did you do that one, Burma? The Alison Coe one?
No, I didn't get a chance to do that one. I came in afterwards. After that, I came in for the next one, which wasn't.
Oh, the Pamela Aronow one.
Yeah, which was okay. It's okay. I think because I've worked through a lot of that kind of stuff, it was just a really good meditation for me. So.
Right. Well, for that one, it wasn't as deep as Alison Coe, which is quite good, because the Alison Coe one for me was really emotional. But what do I remember of that one? I remember seeing Pamela Aronow. It was all about kind of sacred geometry, wasn't it? She wanted us to be able to perceive. She says that every lineage has a sacred geometric shape, which I perceived her saying unlocks the specific skill sets that are naturally imbued in that lineage. I saw my sacred lineage shape, and I went through what she said about the ancestors coming and unlocking things. I remember at some point in the meditation, I don't know if she was guiding this or not, I can't remember, but what I saw was a little girl, probably about 4 years old, and she was me. She was a representation of me. And I saw a mother figure behind her holding this little girl from behind around her middle, like a child who's so distraught, they collapse. So you hold them up and they're just sobbing. And that's what I saw. And I realized the child was me, the mother figure was Gaia. And I knelt down and held the little girl's hands, and I felt her pain and despair and anguish seep out of her into me and then through me into Gaia. And as that happened, she became less and less distraught. She calmed down, hiccuping like a child does. And then she sort of tentatively looked up and then met my eyes and started to smile. And by the end of that sequence, she was just really happy and giving like a wonderful, happy child. Do you remember if she actually guided that part? Did you experience that? Did you experience the part? Do you remember the part where I think she had us visualize ourselves
where
as
she was talking about the child? Yeah, and that's the part that I didn't really need to do because I've already done that. Because of things that happened in my past, so I had to already do that. But yeah, she did. She was like talking about how we're getting a bad feedback now.
Sorry, hold on. Okay, that should be better. Battery went on my headset. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She was talking about the inner child, yeah, and doing that. So that's probably why it led you there for that.
Right.
As far as I can remember, unless we were experiencing the same thing. So.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember much about that meditation, to be honest with you, but it was a very nice meditation. Her voice. Do you remember her singing? Her voice was incredible.
Oh no, it was amazing. The drumming was great too. That was a really nice ad.
Yeah. Oh yes, the heartbeat.
They shouldn't just do it one day. If they want to bring like understanding about what they do to the light, like they're doing, they should do just more than one day of that, where they offer, you know what I mean, to you to introduce different practitioners in the field, so people can see them on YouTube. I think it'd be better for people to get to know them, because you see videos of Alison Coe, and that was amazing. I'm sure I'm so mad that I missed that one. I'm gonna have to go back and do the meditation with her and see if I can, or she takes you into regression, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely recommend it. She's put it onto her YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
So anyone can do it, but I would advise anyone doing it to be prepared, possibly to quite an emotional experience if they've never done it before. you know, because for me it definitely was. But that's not to say everyone will experience that, because I know people who did it who didn't experience anything like that intense. So it all depends as well on your mindset, is how deep you want to go. I mean, also, but maybe perhaps whether you've been hypnotized before, because I've been hypnotized myself a couple of times in the past. So I was wondering if it was that, because I'd already been hypnotized a couple of times, that I went into it so deeply and so quickly. Perhaps it's because I had no anxiety or worry about being hypnotized. Perhaps. I don't know.
Well, that's nice. I tried it one time, but the guy, I think what happened is that he didn't quite understand what I wanted. I wanted like a regression thing. And I think he was just he just put me into a really deep hypnosis. And then he was like asking me about, you know, what color I liked. And then he's like, okay, every time you see red, it's just going to make you be relaxed. I know, I can relax fine. I don't have any issue relaxing. I know how to meditate. I've been meditating for years. Although I have to say, Mel, that when we started doing it in Discord, there was a huge difference between my own meditation and us meditating. Like, that was amazing. It's every time we do it, it's amazing. So
thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome, dear. But you know, Bob and
What do you
Magi have been very quiet. You know that, right?
I know they have.
Bob's doing this
I've
in the chat.
I've actually had to mute Bob because there was a lot of he wasn't deafened on Discord, and I was getting a lot of reverberation. He was also
was he watching cartoons?
Yeah, it was typing sound. I was getting lots of typing sound.
He's probably watching cartoons. You know, Magi probably fell asleep on us. Wake
I was
up,
gonna say, Magi. Yeah, if we do a meditation online or something like that, you better watch it, because Magi have to have his mic off because he'll start snoring.
He'll be asleep.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be snoring.
I've heard Mel snore. You know what? It just happens.
Okay, you guys are so excited about being online and talking to somebody, and then you fall asleep in Discord. I mean, what?
But why are they not talking in here? I mean, are they asleep on Hangouts right now? Are they asleep live? What's going on?
I don't know. Magi hasn't said anything. Magi!
Oh, wake up.
Has anybody heard of any new Mandela effects?
Yes. Play it again, Sam. Is no longer live.
Bob, I have to unmute you. Okay, I can hear you now.
Go ahead, Bob.
Play it again, Sam. This is no longer the line. That's a misquote.
Mm.
Is it? I don't know that one anyway, so it doesn't mean much to me.
It's not a misquote. That's crazy.
And there isn't one close to it. It's a full sentence. That is the line now.
I'm trying to think of.
Has that line in the Matrix come back yet?
Not
Is it still gone?
And that one's nuts. I mean, he definitely does say that.
Yeah. It's like,
What
that
line
famous
in the
line in the Matrix. You say it, Brahma.
What's that? Oh my God, I'm so bad tonight. I'm just like in love. I'm telling you, I'm off.
This is why I don't watch chat, because I get distracted.
If I told you, what if I told you that everything you knew was a lie?
That's it.
That's gone now?
It's not in there anymore.
What?
And that's one of my favorite movies. It definitely was in there. It's like, if you build it, he will come. Don't you like all the singularities that the Mandela Effect thing is doing? It's doing a singularity with a lot of things. If you build it, they will come. That's how it was. If you build it, he will come. You know, it's a singularity. You know what? Sally Fields, that went single. What else? There's a lot of other ones. I can't think of all.
So it seems like we've had some sort of a temporal incursion, and you're finding it's curious that it's singular or plural. Fascinating.
I gotta ask guys, what are we talking about?
I know exactly. Just ask Bob because Bob knows. Bob knows.
Bob knows
Will
everything.
they, he will come, they will come, singular, plural, the reality is shifting and we're philosophizing. But did you know this change, this particular change is really profound. Forget that our skull has changed and the planet is shrunk and time is going faster. Let's look at the singular and plural because I think I have something there.
I have something on my nose. Do you see me scratching my nose right now, Bob? I have something on my nose. You see that? What is that? Can you tell me?
You have a very nice nose.
Here's a singular thought. A man who knows something knows he knows nothing. That's a singular thought for you.
I just mean that that's kind of weird. Look at how many are like that. I'm sorry, Bob. So I'm making just one thing out of one thing. Bob's always got
I was having your back. I was having your back in a Canadian way. I was supporting you. Why do you lash out to people who are there to support you? I don't understand where all this aggression is coming from.
I've got Michelle laughing in my ear.
You woke up a diet now. It's on. This is fun.
I know. Just wait till we get off of here. Wait till we get back to Discord, Bob.
Oh shit!
You're up the creek with no paddle.
She's gonna beat you with that paddle.
You better put your mouth into the water for motorboating down the stream because that's all you're.
Oh man.
Magi, tell him about being peaceful. The good parts of being peaceful.
Is he still here?
No, he's not. I swear he's sleeping. He's totally sleeping.
I have a cat.
Magi.
Oh, Sean, you got a cat.
I have
Speak again
two
so you can
cats.
see the cat.
Oh,
it's gone now.
All right,
Cats
so
are agile.
here's I'll turn mine so you guys can see my little one laying on there. See, it's nice laying on the blanket, all like.
Your house is lovely.
Warm there.
I like it.
Yeah, well, that's a blanket I made, and anything that's mine, they like to you put it on there, and then they're totally on it. And Missy was around here somewhere. She was just meowing at me.
Mine are
My
both
dog-
fast asleep.
My dog is between my legs, enjoying head rubs right now. That's what she's doing.
Oh. What kind of dog have you got?
I've got 3 dogs. My biggest one, her name is Stitches. She's a red-nosed pit bull. My middle one, size-wise, he's my youngest, is Max. He's a Siberian Husky and Boston Terrier mix. And then my youngest is Lily, well, my smallest, but she's the same age as Stitches. She is a mutt of Chai, Dachshund, and Chihuahua.
Oh wow!
Wow.
But speaking of like Mandela effects, and it's not really a Mandela effect, but it's more of like a phase shift, I guess. When I was in Fallon, I went to Fallon, Nevada with the I was in the United States Navy, and we went on a detachment to Nevada, and I was driving a van, and I passed a guy coming out of the gym. I specifically remember this because I can't explain it. He was wearing a white tank top and blue shorts. I watched him. He walked out and he went behind my van to go to his car. And then I pulled forward, and then I saw him getting into his car, but he never passed me because I was going about 15 miles an hour, and he would have had to sprint by me, but I never saw him pass me.
Oh wow! I've heard other stories similar to that where people have almost like been in an accident and their vehicle has just moved so that they weren't involved in the accident and things like that. So,
it's weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Well, there's so many videos now on YouTube. You can see webcam videos of street cams of cars disappearing and appearing. So.
Well, Mel, I had that one story that's like that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
Sound like you were just about ready to tell a story.
Yeah, it was only a very brief one. As a child, I always put it. Well, I'll tell you what happened first. So I was just going to cross this busy road, and like a good little girl, I looked both ways, and there was definitely no traffic coming. And I stepped out, and it was like, beep. beep, a horn, and there was a car just skidding to a stop just by me. And I remember thinking, how on earth did I not see that car? You know, it was a straight road. There wasn't any parked cars. It was a busy road. There wasn't any reason I wouldn't have seen it. You could see quite a distance up, and I didn't see this car at all. And at the time, I just shrugged it off. And later on, I read about, you know, it can happen sometimes where your brain doesn't register. It's why you should always look twice. But I did look. I looked more than once, and I just put it down to something like that, just an oddity. But now, of course, I wonder if this car had actually shifted in from another reality. Anyway, go on, Bama.
This is the crazy one, right? This is the one I didn't tell anybody for a long, long time because of what actually happened. So I was 22 years old, and I was living out just right outside of Cheltenham, which is just outside of Philadelphia, basically the outskirts of Philly. And my ex had an accident. He got rear-ended that same day. And so I was going out to get us something to eat, whatever. And I'm coming down the road. So my car's here. You got a line of parked cars here. And then there's a SEPTA bus. They're transportation buses that we have in Philadelphia. So there's a SEPTA bus sitting here dropping people off because there's a line of cars next to him. And then this car comes around that SEPTA bus and comes head on with me. I was so young. All I did was just hold onto the steering wheel, close my eyes because I knew we were going to hit head on. And I'm waiting for the crash. So I open my eyes and I look in the rearview mirror and the car's behind me. There's no way you could have cut around. So in that instant, just close my eyes for like an instant, you know, like waiting for that impact and realizing there was no impact, and then looking and the car's behind me. It was weird. It was, yeah. So if you could say that again. I didn't tell anybody for the longest time. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Cool. I guess I wasn't supposed to die.
I've actually spoken to a woman who moved out of her hometown for a couple of years and came back, and come to find she died. She has her own death certificate, and she's been to her grave.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like coming home and like like she told me her family was like crazy, like because they she had friends go to her funeral. She was dead, and then she was walking before them.
Well, isn't that a thing that's been going on with the Mandela Effect that people have been talking about? That people coming back, and to be quite honest, and I don't mean to quote scripture, but isn't what they say is part of the whole thing with the end of times, right? Where people come back from the dead.
Yeah.
Isn't but I'm not saying that it's religious. I'm just saying that.
Hold on a second. Sean, do you know this woman directly, or is this a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend story?
I have spoken to her directly. She's a friend of mine on Discord.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But Mandela Affected, I think it's Mandela Affected, the British guy. I remember he was talking about, he went to a supermarket or something, and he saw a woman whose funeral he went to years ago, and he went up and spoke to her, and he actually recorded it. He put it on a YouTube video, but he was saying this woman was dead. He knows she was dead, and now she's alive. But I just wanted to say, before we go on, in response to Burma's car accident story, when I had my car accident, what happened to me was it was a young kid, 18-year-old lad, he was speeding. And the similar sort of situation, I was in a position where I knew we were going to impact head on. And I had nowhere to go because of a narrow street and cars parked, etc. There was nothing I could do. All I could do was stop, and I'd stopped. And he was speeding towards me, started to brake, but I knew it was going to impact. It was too late. And all I could do, I know what you're saying, Gemma, is all I could do was literally just hold the wheel and watch and wait. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
But what happened with me was the impact happened, but my memory of it was I was stood on the pavement watching the impact from the side, just like on TV when you see those crash tests done on TV where they impact cars. I literally watched two cars impact together, and I watched the bonnets crumple up and all of that happening as if I was a bystander on the side of the road. And then after the impact had happened, then I was back behind the wheel again. So I actually left my body and saw it from the side view while it was happening, which was bizarre. I mean, it's not the first time I've left my body, but yeah, that's how I remember it, the entire accident. I remember it all happening as if I was watching from the side.
It's crazy when it happens. I mean, you definitely what's my thought? Like for a long time you just don't even know how to process that. Of course, for you, when you jumped out of your body, that would have been really cool for me, but that didn't happen. But for a long time I didn't tell anybody. Because what it makes most people think when you tell them a story like that. You know, they think you're crazy, but it happened. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know what I mean? These things we experience happened, and and for me, that's kind of
Head
profound.
trauma. That's what we'd say, head trauma.
What's that? But he just pops in for like 2 seconds and says head trauma and then goes out.
Yeah.
I thought he said head trauma.
Did he say head trauma?
I didn't hear him. I'd have preferred your experience, Mama, because I'm afraid the accident didn't happen.
Say, I didn't hear you.
I broke my head too, okay? So that's happened. So don't be too harsh on Burma. I was in a car accident when I was 15 in a crosswalk. I got hit by a car and flew 18 foot up and out. Woke up with 48 staples in my head and no hair. A 15-year-old teenage girl, bald as a bean, and looked like Rocky pummeled the side of my face. So yeah, we fall down and bump our heads. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this is, Bob, is that I didn't have like a head trauma accident before this happened. Just FYI, I'm just letting you know. That's all.
I was just saying what other people was going to say. I know you don't have a head trauma. You're like this naturally.
Bob, you speaking is technically a head trauma to all of us.
Well, maybe we're all brain damaged because most of us have had some sort of near-death experience of some description. Maybe that's the explanation for the Mandela Effect.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I know that the best people are always the craziest.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
To
if
quote the
anybody
Mad
thinks
Hatter.
they're actually normal, those people I'm more scared of than the ones that actually people think they're crazy, right? I mean, they're the best people. They're very interesting, that's for sure.
Let me ask you.
I'm interesting and normal.
Let me
So
ask
they're
you.
normal, all right.
Let me ask you, what is normal?
Normal is not normal.
I'm normal.
I think normal is a false sense of a person thinking, well, yeah, what is normal? I mean, like, really?
I think for a lot of people, when they say I'm normal, it's really them just saying that I'm egotistical to believe that what I do is everybody else does too.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
I am by no means normal. Like
Bob's normal.
Well, then I have to ask Bob, well, what is normal?
Yeah, Bob.
I'm not saying I don't glitch from time to time, but that's normal too.
So where the heck did Magi go? Magi came on and then he's not there anymore?
I don't know, but I want to listen to that man read me a book.
I know, right? He's got a great radio voice.
He does.
Okay,
And then if you get to see him on top of it, it's even better.
Really, he has.
Now Bell's back. Okay, never mind.
What, Michelle?
Really,
her mic is really down low.
Yeah.
No,
Michelle.
I'm sorry. No, there's
Don't be
just
sorry.
people asking questions in the chat, and I was going to address it because Mel had stepped away. But
Ask away.
Do it.
No, I need to step away for a couple of minutes and visit the ladies' room. That's
Okay.
my British being very polite there.
What do you call it, the loo?
I
Michelle,
thought you
do
called
you
it the
wanna
loo.
if people got questions, do you want to ask them? Because
Sure. Before it scrolls up out of view. Okay, go ahead, do your thing there. Okay, the question is from Banjo Joe. Hi, Banjo Joe. Glad you are here with us. She wants to know if anyone here makes sigils. That goes, let's throw it to Burma first, because I'm sure that
I don't.
would have some. Is that,
No, I don't have any idea even what that is. So I'm sorry.
You're not
I can't answer
Bob.
that.
She said Bob.
okay, Bob. I know what a sigil is, but have you ever used?
I don't know
sigils?
what a sigil is.
Okay, a sigil is when you take like the letters and you will take like the first letter of each of the words and you will connect it and make like a picture, and like you can take the letters and make like a bird or something out of it, and then it makes a beautiful picture, and then it represents what you are trying to create. Is that right, Jojo? Am I explaining what a sigil is correctly?
It sounds fascinating. I haven't been trained in such arts. You people fascinate me. Yeah. Yeah. Burma's done sigils. She's the type. She's a sigil type.
Okay, well, that was the only question that let's see, let me scroll back.
I like birds.
My answer is no.
Yes.
I'm back. I have done sigils, yes.
Oh,
I
figures.
used them a little bit, and I
They're
used
beautiful.
to do yes, they are. And my understanding is it's the emotional intent. Like, say you want to, it could be used in spell work. So, say you want to do a spell of protection on somebody, then you write the words out with the emotion, the desire for that protection, and then you create the sigil. And I think the idea is the sigil holds the power, the desire for your manifestation. So it's a similar sort of thing to programming crystals, but instead of programming a crystal, you're programming something that's written on paper, and then you can put that into a bottle or near the person, or you can burn it, or whatever you want to do that makes you believe that that's going to actually happen. So for me, it's a bit like using it's a spell work. To me is more about using physical objects or ritual in order to help you believe your manifestation is going to happen, because I think it would anyway if your belief was strong enough, but it's a way of holding that desire. I think crystals are slightly different because they're slightly different, so they can hold emotion and intent for a bit longer. But yeah, I haven't done a lot of it, but I do know what they are, and I have used them in the past. Yeah.
That sounds really fascinating. I'd like to learn how to do that eventually.
And Ben Jojo was asking about charging them, and the charge that goes into the sigil is actually just like what Mel said. As you're making the sigil, the energy and intent and emotion and everything that is going into it, that is actually charging the sigil.
Yeah. I mean, the only difference with that, I think, is that, like, the book I was reading about, and whether this is true or not, is I don't know, but the author of the book I was reading was talking about the Through Dark runes and the runes, that he was saying that the Through Dark runes have power in and of themselves. So they are a bit like cheat codes for reality. If you envisage this reality as being like a game, a computer game, then there's the Through Dark runes are a bit like the cheat codes that you can then utilize to enhance your manifestation. I have no idea how true that is. My only experience with runes is when I was younger. I used to have a set of runes and use it for divination. But other than that, I don't know. But I know I have seen a Through Dark rune, the Hangouts rune. I had a vision of it. And I remember saying in Discord about it, I saw the Hangouts rune, which means enlightenment. And when we do group meditations, I often take people to this field, and we connect in this field. And I saw this Through Dark rune in the field, and it was if I remember, it was turning counterclockwise slowly. It was spinning. And I think it was white or yellow. And I happened to say about it in Discord, and then another person who I hadn't spoken to for a while actually popped up in Discord, Well, she was listening at the time, and she said to me, "Oh, that's so strange because both me and one other person, at least in other rooms of Discord, have had this same vision within the last day or two prior to that." So for some reason, this vision apparently was going through the community. There were others who had it as well, apparently. But that was a Hangout room. I use them sometimes. The rooms if I'm wanting to put healing or protection on somebody, then I will use certain runes. I'll visualize the runes above their aura. I don't know how that is, whether it seems to work. So that's
Well,
just what
there's
I
another
do.
thing. I didn't never call it this, but I mean, I had somebody that was having major, like she had major trauma when she was young. So I had her, write a letter that said everything that she needed to say to the people that wronged her, of why she felt like a victim. And then I had her burn it. So in some ways, that's kind of what you're sort of talking about, right? So I mean, like, but I also think they're saying in chat, I also think it's not a cult. That it is really about your intention and about your perception in that. You know what I mean? If you believe it's a cult, then it absolutely is. But you're also limiting your perception, right, Mel? Because that was one thing I've learned from Mel. If you limit yourself, then you have limits. And then if you don't limit yourself, you don't have limits. So you have to really,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
See, right now for me, we're walking into uncharted territory because the farthest I've ever been into that side is tarot and runestones. That's it. I've never actually used the Earth's energy, Gaia's energy, to help me in my day to day.
Well, you should.
Have you've not been one of our meditations, have you yet, Sean? Is that right?
I was in one, and I had the most profound trip. Is the best way I can describe it I've ever had in my entire life. Like it was better than any psychedelic I had ever done, because I can't even explain it to you how profound. I think we talked about it afterwards.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I do remember now.
It's still a memorable experience in my head because it was so amazing. It's just where I'm at. Like I haven't been to them lately because where I'm at now, for me, is so is so chaotic energetically, because I've not only got myself, because when I did the group meditation, it was just me. It was me in a hotel room. But here, it's not just me. It's me, my wife, my 2 cats, and my 3 dogs. And all of that makes a distraction. There's no place I can go in this house and be quiet. There's no like quiet space for me here, and that's why I haven't been in some time.
Well, I wouldn't work. I mean, that's a shame, really, because.
Can you go outside?
It'd be nice if you could come in more often. Yeah.
Could you go outside and because that's what I do sometimes. I'll take my phone and I'll go outside if it's too noisy in the house.
Well, if I go outside, I'll probably hear the gunshots of the ghetto that's that way.
Oh, it's that way.
Yeah, it's that way.
Where is it? It's somewhere over there.
No, seriously, there's a ghetto
so
right
there's
over
nothing
there.
That's
But here in the next couple of weeks, me and my wife are moving out. I have gotten well, we're closing next week, but it's 9 acres. It's a 1,500 square foot house, and it's a nice, quiet little property in the middle of nowhere, where I can just go outside and sit and meditate and be at peace.
I have to say that's one thing I love about where I'm at is that I'm in the woods. You know, I go outside and they're like, "Oh, we know Burma's on because we hear her peepers in the background," or my chimes, one or the other.
And I really like this place because it has a pond that's stocked and it's teeming with life. It's crazy. And there's a gazebo that sits right on the pond. And I'm sure I could walk out there and be in like a quiet space because it's away from the house. It's away from the electronics. It's out in the middle of the property where it's just me, the trees, and the fish.
That's going to be awesome for you.
That's going to be beautiful. Yeah. That really will. And
When we,
can you feel the energy of the life in the pond when you're out there? Can you detect the energy of it?
It's for me, it comes in the form of emotion. And when I'm out there, I always feel really relaxed and really happy, because there's like it's hard for me to describe. And I think it has to do with the fact that I'm an empath. But the energy I feel comes through me as emotion, and it's never negative out there. It's always just
nice and balanced, right? Nice and
yeah.
balanced.
It's I can't even put it in words how I feel when I go out there.
I'd love to have a pond.
Well, you just need to get across the pond there, girlfriend, and you can come stay at my place, and then you can come outside, and we'll do a nice live stream outside, and we'll have everybody on. And you gotta love Captain with his flashlight, trying to figure out what good is the lighting over there. I'm sorry, I'm totally watching Captain over there. He couldn't help himself. He's like, oh.
No, Melanie, that's why earlier when somebody asked in the Discord how would the energies feel, I described it to how I felt, because honestly, that's how I feel the energy is I transmute it into my feelings and my emotions.
Well, how many of us on the panel are empaths? I mean, Mel, you're an empath, right? Michelle, you are too, right? Mm-hmm. What about you, Bob? Are you an empath, Bob?
She said yes, Michelle.
Empaths can't be can't be mean people. Bob's a pretty mean guy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Bob says he's not an empath. He said it in the chat. Why couldn't he come on and say it in the voice? I don't know about Magi. Captain, how about you?
I would say so.
There's a lot of us that are empaths. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in too sometimes. Like if you like as a healer for me, I have to learn how to separate myself from my clients. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm taking on too much emotions, too much physical pain. I had somebody that came to me, and every single time my level had to come down to meet her. She was not coming up to meet me at all. So she was very draining.
Yeah,
I mean, that can be really tough.
Yeah, I know. It's like this guy came to our house to become some stuff, and I told him to take off his shoes.
When I first got involved in the Mandela community, people were doing online quizzes, and a bit like personality profiles, and it rated you, and empathy was one of the ratings, and we all scored. Everyone who did it scored really highly on it. For those who are watching, there are these tests online you can do, which give you an empathy rating.
Like every time I do one of those, it labels me as a true empath. Every single time. And see, I install security systems in people's houses, so I meet with a lot of different energies like every day, and most of the time, they're really happy people. But I've noticed that when I go into these houses and people are negative, I'm able to bring their energy up. I don't know if that's substantial or not, but by the time I'm leaving, I could come in and they're angry. By the time I'm leaving, they're normally smiling.
That's because they're no longer angry because you're no longer there. You probably started the anger.
Man, what is wrong with you tonight? You're like on a rampage.
Yes.
I know, right?
He's in one of those moods tonight.
I
noticed that with teaching. Like if you walk into the classroom with a negative mood, or you start to dread a particular class, then you're going to get a hard time. Whereas if you walked into the same class with confidence, assertiveness, but being happy and not fearful, anxious, then you would definitely see a response to your emotional state, is what I'm saying, when you walk into the classroom. Which is why a lot of teaching is just acting. It's just, you act like you're in charge of a class, and you are in charge of the class.
If they taught classes in zero gravity, none of that would be an issue. Everybody just be happy.
He wouldn't get much worse on them.
Good Lauren.
I'm just imagine these kids with notebooks chained to them and little pencils floating around the classroom. Would it be? I think I would contribute health and safety to science lab for a start. But yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, you talk about install security cameras systems, Sean. I was listening to a lecture that was talking about how security guards and people who work in front of the CCTV and know from experience that they can affect the people they're watching in real time simply by their thoughts, looking at them through the screen. And that security guards, commonly when they're trained, they're taught that if you want to stop somebody doing something bad, just stare at them long enough, even if it's through a CCTV screen. And most often they will detect it. They will become aware they're being watched, and then they'll not do that bad thing. I mean, what do you have any experience with that kind of phenomenon?
I can't say that I do personally, no. I do know I can look at somebody and tell if they have evil intention or not. I can tell if they're exuding negativity, if they're brooding. It's sometimes it helps because there's been a lot of times where I've been at a house party, and I know that I can tell that a fight's about to break out, and I can normally mitigate and stop it from happening. But I can't personally say that I've ever watched somebody on the screen or know of anybody that watched somebody on the screen and stopped them from doing something negative. I can't say that I have.
Okay.
But that's why. But that's partially why I try to stay away from concerts. Because I don't generally go out to concerts a lot like that. So people, where there are a lot of people concentrated in one place, and I've noticed that when I do go to those things, I get bombarded with all kinds of energies that make me, for lack of a better word, shut down energetically. It makes me like throw up my own shield and block out everything, because it's like being washed over by a tidal wave of crap. And it's not just like normally negativity. Like it's the most powerful ones are like the happiness factor. The state of euphoria, the excitedness. Those are the most powerful ones, because it's kind of like if you were put it on a sound scale, the happiness and the excitedness are the higher vibration, which makes sense, and the negativity and stuff is on the lower vibration. I can feel the negativity from farther away, but the happiness is more powerful, if that makes any sense.
Well, there's so much in a concert. You know what I mean? I've been there too, and I remember when I was younger, and I always wondered why. Well, I didn't know back then I was an empath. I mean, I've always been one, but I didn't know there was a name for that. So in any case, when I would go to go to a concert, it was very overwhelming. Just too much energy, different kinds of energy, but just all coming at one time. So you're absolutely right. Then you have no choice but to stick that shield up, and it's almost like it's hard to enjoy that type of place, especially as an empath. You try. I don't really go to concerts anymore, unless they're very small concerts in very small venues. So then it's less people. Yeah, Michelle, keep the chat going.
Apparently, the mic that I'm coming through is not the one on my headset.
I'm trying to multitask here, and I'm having brain farts terribly. What did you want me to do, Burma?
That should be.
Mel put in this thing and said, Michelle, I need coffee. Can you please keep the chat going?
Oh,
But that is multitasking.
Well, yes. Hey, wait, you know what? I was in the stream. I was flowing on down the river, talking about empathy. You know what? Empathy is like one of the stages that, I think just about everybody that I've talked to they become empathic. It just is like one of those things that your heart cracks wide open, and you can feel everybody around you, and it's and you guys know this, that when it first happened to me, I couldn't even do simple errands. I could feel people so much with what was going on with them. If I had to go to the grocery store, I'd follow around people that were in a good mood, shop behind them. I hope I needed what was on the aisle that they were going down, because it was awful until I figured out how to put that boundary up where I didn't just link up with everybody. But yeah, I've just noticed that's one common thread amongst just about everybody I've spoke with. That empathy is, and that's an amazing gift for all of us to have, to be able to feel the oneness that we are within each other. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, there needs to be more of that in the world, I think.
I have a question for you guys. Oh well, Bob was. I'll ask my question after Bob gets done talking, because God knows that what he has to say is more important than what I have to say.
It's probably really profound. Now there's pressure.
What?
Go on then, Bob.
That was it. What?
What's going on?
Spit it
I
out.
wasn't saying anything.
What is a very profound word, guys?
What?
It explains everything that is physical in this reality. What?
I don't know. Imagine
I think Bob's rubbing off on you. That's what I think.
Imagine I was saying we should end with a group meditation.
Yes, I was just thinking that. What do you mean, Major was saying? He hasn't said anything for ages.
That's because he's a big in meditation all the time. Sleep meditation.
He's not asleep. He's just really.
Oh, Magi, you're gonna miss it.
What was my question? Oh, right. When you went through your spiritual awakening, did your taste in music change?
No, but my taste in food did.
Really? Mine changed. Mine did a 180. Like, I used to love like
gospel.
I used to love screamo music, and now gospel. I love chill step. I don't. I guess I vibe with it.
I have no idea what either of those is.
I don't either.
It's gospel music. It's different types of church music and gospel.
But mine absolutely changed. I used to listen to things like Metallica, Five Finger Death Punch, very hard. Love that type of music, man, and great to drive to, because I love driving. But now, I mean, I find that when I listen to it now, it's definitely the feeling. It's angry music. That's all I got to say. I'm not trying to put a label on every single song, but that is how the music's being played. Yeah. Right. So when I became a massage therapist, that's when a lot of things, I was already sort of spiritual prior to that, but that's when a lot of things changed for me. So I did notice. Yes, that's right. No, I'm not angry. Come on, Bob. I'm not angry. That's that warrior side of me.
Work that anger out and let
So I started listening to a lot more meditative sounds, those type of things, and I like the softer, a little bit on the softer side now. I don't listen to that as much because of
Vulcan, right?
Say again, Bob?
You went from Klingon music to Vulcan music.
Yeah, exactly.
When we're done here, I'll post a link in the Discord to one of Bob has heard it, what I'm going to send you guys, but it's the kind of music that I like. Generally, it's very, very it's called chill step because it's relaxing melodies with a bass prominent beat. And when I say bass, I mean like low, like relaxing bass.
Look at that kitty.
That's prissy.
Look, she looks like she's got a heart on her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, the music definitely just increased. I think I started listening to jazz melodies, instrumentals, nature sounds, Native American flute music, and then within regular music, it was just. I was always open to different types of music, but it was just more the coded messages, decoding them. Doing that was the more. Since my experience, that it has. And for the record, Sean, the other mic I believe sounds a lot better. This one sounds more like it needs a pop screen.
It definitely needs a pop screen. You are correct. I just haven't ordered any from Amazon. Magi is back in the Discord if you guys didn't notice, so he's probably back here.
Magi. No, nope, he's totally ignoring us.
But Cap, if you wanna argue with Jerry over which one of my mics is better, I'm gonna let you guys hash that out, and I'll take the winner's suggestion. But
they all sound fine to me, but I'm listening for Discord.
I don't know how.
What
I've also noticed since my spiritual awakening is that color in and of itself, both in paint and in nature and in light, are more prominent to me. Like colors are more colorful, to put it bluntly.
Yes, not all the time for me, but definitely when I'm really feel connected, I've seen colors get a lot brighter. I've seen auras around things and people, plants, and yeah, I know there are others who've experienced that as well.
And I think I know what color my aura is. Basically, it's been the same for a couple of years. And I did a lot of reading, and it's a color that you're drawn to a lot, and it's blue. And if you can imagine the bluest blue that you've ever seen, I'm drawn to that color. If I ever see like a piece of clothing with that color, I have to have it. I don't have a choice. I have to get it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also do think that auras do change with the mood that you're in.
Of course.
And with your connection, you know what I mean? And that's a thing too. Also with how like when I'm doing Reiki on the table, one thing I do notice is that I don't see them a whole lot, right? Auras. I see white around people. I don't see colors. So, but I do know that they change. I've heard people talk about it. So the other thing is that when I'm doing somebody on my table, as far as just Reiki is concerned, people who are trusting, their auras tend to be further out from their body, sometimes way out. People that don't trust, they're real tight up against them. Like you could feel that where the energetic line is of how far out it is with your hands. And it's the craziest thing. I love this. I don't know if I shared this with you, Mel. So because I'm pretty new into the Reiki healing, one thing I notice is that when I go over people's certain parts that are having issues, my fingers start doing like tingling sensations, like down through here. Or if it's really bad, the other day I got a whole hand tingle, which was like the first time it happened. So that was pretty cool, but it was a pretty large area that was throwing off a lot of energy. So just phenomenal. It's amazing. I just love it.
I need to drive to wherever you are and get some healing done, because I don't know where you are.
I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't know where you're at.
I'm in Alabama, like straight.
That's not too bad. I mean, my parents live in Virginia, and that's about a nine-hour drive from them.
I lived in Virginia for a while.
It's south.
It's a 13-hour drive for me to go to Virginia.
Wow. What side of Virginia, though?
South Virginia.
Southern, like, okay.
Like Norfolk.
Yeah.
Or Norfolk.
Yeah. It would take you quite a while to get up here.
I would have to fly.
You probably would. That would be bad. I mean, you could still drive, but it would just take you forever in a day.
Right. I don't have that kind of time. Well, time is a construct made by man. Time, we shouldn't actually follow time. Time doesn't exist.
I know, right? Have you guys seen that the movie Wonder?
Healing?
Oh, sorry. Say again.
Could you not do it by distance? Over distance?
Healing? I could. I mean, I could. Yeah. I mean, definitely think that healing from a distance is definitely a little bit, I think it works the same to some degree, but I think in person it's just better. But then maybe that's a limitation that I am putting on myself right now.
Is I don't know where my blocks are, and I don't know what to feel after the session is done. And that's the thing is, I would much rather do it in person so I know what I'm looking for, if that makes any sense, or know what I'm feeling for. Put it in better words.
You wouldn't. Well, I mean, it just depends on what you got going on. You know what I mean? As far as you want more I mean, I could try. I could I could really try to do it from a distance. I've actually helped a lot of people. We did a meditation. You can ask Mel and Bob and Magi if Magi will get back to us. But we did a meditation where in the meditation I touched each one of their shoulders, and I didn't tell them I was going to do it, but I touched their shoulders in the meditation. And when we were all talking about it, I don't know, Mel, was that you that said that you felt somebody touch your shoulder? Was that you?
In meditation?
Yeah, remember when we were in the meditation all together and we were explaining our experiences, and was it you that said that you felt somebody touch your shoulder in the meditation, that you hadn't felt that before?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it was you.
I think
okay.
so, yeah.
So that's what she said, and then yeah, and I touched each one of their shoulders, giving them healing during the meditation. So it was like a nice confirmation, but it was very cool. Very cool.
If you guys go into the Discord in general, I actually just posted a picture of one of the pecan trees that are on the property, and I think I'm going to meditate under that specific one because my energy is drawn to that one.
Oh, that's so beautiful. It's very nice.
Like I just want to.
Let me do this. I don't know if the people can see that, but that's what he's talking about.
I just want to lay down on her branches and go to sleep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous tree.
I don't know if you guys can see the tree. There it is.
We're both showing you. And Magi said he's having technical issues. He's not sleeping. He says he can hear us. I need to say he wasn't sleeping. Right. I think he was sleeping part of the time though.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read. I'm just going to read this for. This is for 2D in chat. He asked a question about an issue he's dealing with, and I offered to draw a card for him, and he said yes, please. So 2D, are you still watching? Say something in top chat if you are. Give you another.
I'm looking at the list and it doesn't look like he's on in the participants.
I swear to you guys, I'm seeing a lot of congruencies between
Hey, Mel.
between some tarot cards and my choice to become a beekeeper.
And Mel Bell, somebody by the handle of the Cashew Monkey would like a card pulled for them if you're up for it.
Yeah, sure. It's a shame that 2D wasn't in because the cards were to do with this issue. Okay. Okay, what I need you to do, Cashew Monkey, is think about what you would like the cards to help you with while I'm shuffling. Well, that was quick. So we've got an oracle card for you.
Did one hop out at you? I love it when they do that.
Yeah, I tend to wait for that to happen rather than.
You know, I noticed that I'm way better at rune stones than I am at tarot. Of course, my tarot deck is Enochian, so it's very hard to control the energies around that deck, to put it lightly. But
you should get your runes out.
I have the. Oh, I mean, they're right here. They're not too far. I have these crystal quartz runes.
Do you, for the ruins, I have a set, but I haven't ever used them. I've used the cards more than I've used my rune. I've never used the runes. So do you have a book that you use, or what do you use?
I do have a book. I just don't know where it is.
Oh, well.
It ran away from me.
So what do you use
I'm
for
still
the
using the
knowing?
book.
Do you know what they mean?
Well, I don't off the top of my head, but normally, I can Google what they mean, and I can get a general sense.
Oh. Okay.
Because a lot of the times I have runes that I can't find online, so I have to use my intuition. You know, and I actually have scared some people. I've amazed some others, and I've given some others hope.
Well, that's good. That's what it's all about.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this one out for Cashew Monkey. Okay, Cashew Monkey, your Oracle card. I know this is a crap camera. I will get a better camera soon. Your Oracle card is Make the Sacrifice, which says, you will not achieve the outcome you desire if you are unwilling to act upon your intentions. It is not as simple as wanting something to happen or believing that it will happen. You have to make it happen. And to make it happen requires that you be willing and ready to do whatever is necessary, no matter the sacrifice. For everything you desire, you must give of yourself in return. And the tarot, the key is the Six of Air. That's the tarot card. And the key words are solutions, comparisons, compromise, open-mindedness, mindfulness, illumination, epiphany, and personal power. The key phrases: a time of research and investigation. Look at and compare a range of options. Weigh the pros and cons. Be willing to compromise. Don't let rigidity hamper possible success. A moment of epiphany. Step into your personal power. Do not discredit what others offer. And the meaning is, the Six of Air represents a solution born of compromise that lies somewhere in between the black and white, either or choices that are so often seen as the only options available. Now is a good time to contemplate and compare a range of different options in order to discover the best solution for one and all. Therefore, it is also time for research and investigation. As you consider the options, compare, take notes, weigh the pros and cons for each. There might be a need for compromises to be made, as sometimes in order to achieve our goals and objectives, compromise is required. Now is not the time to prevent an outcome by being inflexible and taking a rigid stance. This card also represents that singular moment of revelation and illumination, when the mind opens and at once understands the extent of the power we have over our lives. Suddenly, you see potential in everything. You see how every experience and, sorry, someone in Discord, there's a lot of echo. Sean, it's you. Can you, hold on, I'll mute you in Discord. Okay, thanks. Suddenly, you see potential in everything. You see how every experience and choice made by you and others has shaped you in your life and brought you to this moment. In turn, you also understand that every choice you make in the present will shape your future. In that moment of recognition, the mind changes in an instant, and so does life itself. The Six of Air is presenting you with the opportunity to act with mindfulness and awareness. From this moment onwards, choose to take responsibility for your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, understanding that even by taking a passive or inactive role, by doing nothing or by allowing others to make decisions on your behalf, you are making a choice. Own it. The only drawback is that you would no longer be able to blame others for stealing your power if it was your choice to give it away. This is your moment to come of age and own your power. So the Six of Air signifies an opportunity to empower and illuminate your life by opening your mind. So I hope that is helpful to you, Cashew Monkey. So, sorry, I've got Michelle yapping in my ear again. I have to look at the screen. Is she talking on there or is she talking to me on Discord?
She's talking to you on Discord.
Okay, so Cashew Monkey, I hope that was helpful to you. Would anyone like Sean to draw them some rooms? Are you happy to do that, Sean?
He can do it for me if he wants. And Michelle's sneaky between the cheekies.
But she's so beautiful, and when she smiles, like the whole room goes bam, you know, with that love.
So let's tell her. We were talking about you. We were talking about you earlier. We were typing it in the chat on the sidebar here, and we were saying how you are just glowing, girlfriend. Not only does you just look good, you look happy. Your hair looks freaking phenomenal. This was something that you just needed to do. I told you. I'm so glad you did it. I'm so glad you did it. So good for you.
Thank you. I am now. I really didn't like it when she first cut it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
I think you doing this chat, your meditation, the meditation online that you're doing, and then your hair looks wonderful. So I don't know if you didn't like it when she cut it, but I think it looks phenomenal. So.
Did someone say my name?
Thank you.
We didn't say her
back, like her age, and she's like getting younger and younger looking every time I see her.
Stop going backwards.
Yes.
You're making me jealous.
It's amazing. She looks fabulous.
Fabulous.
My grey hair is spreading though. I'm getting more grey hair.
You hide it well, and you hide it well.
Yeah, where are they?
I've got like a streak now. It goes right down to the back.
Isn't that distinguishable though? You should be proud of that.
I don't mind it actually. I don't mind going grey.
Sorry guys, I was trying to find my rune book.
Did you find it?
I like it.
You still didn't find it. I think it looks nice. I don't see the grey.
Grasp.
Thank you. Wait till I get a HD camera and you'll be like, oh my god.
Hey, you know what? Gray represents wisdom, so we honor, and you can't see it. It doesn't. You look great. You look happy.
I love the fish tank next to you too. By the way, you should set it a little bit more so people can see more of the fish tank, because then you could probably see him responding to things that you're saying. Have you seen? What was it? It wasn't Bruce Almighty. It was Evan Almighty when he's sitting by the fish tank and the fish are all like at his head like this. That's gonna be you, Mel. You're gonna be. They're all pointing at you.
And she moves me, I'll follow. Oh, Evan Almighty is hilarious.
Duck and cover.
All right, I found a good article online. So if anybody wants runestones, now's the time.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Anyone in the chat would anyone like Sean to draw them some runestones?
I thought he was going to do it for Burma.
He doesn't have to. We can do it for somebody in the chat if somebody in the chat wants it.
No,
I mean, whatever. Just take it away from me. I'll be just fine.
No, do it for Burma first to give time for people in the chat to say yes or no, and Michelle and I will watch the chat and see if anybody wants a reading in there.
Well, how many do you want, Burma?
How many is normal?
Depends on how in depth your reading goes. I can do from 1 to 12. So
why don't you do
7? She wants 7.
Okay, go with 7. Bob said the magic number.
I need more space. Let's do 8. Or well.
Okay.
I don't know any 7s, but I can do 5.
Do 5.
Okay. I need more space.
Sorry, Bob.
Use your other hand.
It's a 2-hander.
But she said. I mean, if you leave yourself open like that, I'm just going to take it.
I
You
know,
looked
that's
at
what.
your hand and you counted 5 and you came up with 5.
All right, I've got my stones. Burma, do your thing. Think of the situation or the question that you want answered.
All right, give me a minute.
Hold on, I gotta take my headphones off. Give me a second. Just tell me. Just yeah.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
How much longer is it going to
Okay.
take?
Shush it! I was just coming on, man. You are the most impatient man ever. Okay. Do you need me to tell you what it is?
Something in a jacuzzi.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. When is that going to happen? I got one outside. Do you want me to tell you? Oh, he took his headsets off, so he can't hear me.
I can still hear you, but no,
Oh,
I
you
don't.
can't.
I think he
You
has
don't
to
need to know.
shave his head. There's going to be some smoke coming soon.
Did you roll your eyes at Bob? I think he totally rolled his eyes at you.
His brain is focused.
You almost sound like a commentator, Bob.
This is fascinating.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I got him drawn. Who is calling me on Discord? Stop it. All right. I have to find this particular layout. You guys can talk. Let me find this. I've drawn them. Just give me a second.
What about me?
Just start talking because he needs to go check some stuff out before he can read them.
Okay. Sean, in Discord, I think you need to deafen yourself.
I can't deafen myself without muting myself.
It's true.
Right. Oh, okay. All right, never mind then, don't worry. I'm not very technologically aware either. It's just...
I thought you could... Can't
It's
you
not
do
too bad.
the earphones? You can do the earphone, Sean, on Discord.
Talking about,
There's
yeah.
two different... There's, your microphone, and then there's the deafening. You should be able to... Aren't you listening through
Yeah,
here?
Irma's done it.
Yes,
Yeah.
his PC has no microphone, but the Logitech 920 does.
Let me show you. Now I can... Yeah. Now...
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's no good.
Yeah, see?
Oh. She says that's no good.
But Melanie cannot.
He has to mute every person individually,
They are all muted.
except for Amber.
What?
Nothing. I'm just making stuff up.
That makes sense.
In like a Bob weird way.
And
That's okay. You gotta understand, Bob wears his pants on his head. It's okay. We've all accepted it. What color are they today, Bob?
Blue. With yellow.
That's okay anyway. The echo's gone for some reason, so whatever you did worked. So cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I do my best.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. The first one.
Okay.
The first one signifies your past and what it would tell you in the past that caused your current position. And for that, you got search. Yeah, this. All right. You got Thurizaz. Opening the door or gate to see the future, luck, reflection for action, protection. You will see the truth, but it's not reversed. So I'm guessing that the past, the what caused this current situation was you seeking the future or seeking the truth of something. The rune of the present, which shows you what the problem is now or your state of mind. And it is... Gotta find it. Sorry guys, this is longer than it normally takes.
Take your time.
You've got Orthala, or ancestral property inheritance, freedom and independence through releasing ideas and things that keep you stuck. You will feel free, and you will inherit from someone. I guess teaching what you have learned through your seeking of truth.
All right, say that again. One more time for me.
Freedom and independence through releasing ideas and things that keep you stuck, in parentheses. You feel free, you will feel free, and you will inherit from someone. I'm guessing you're teaching and it's making you feel free from the... I'm guessing that has to do with the truth that you sought from your past stone.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Sorry, I had to ask you to read again. Sometimes
you're good.
Just trying to get the concept, I gotta,
All right, your next one is the help you can expect to receive in the problem at hand. If it is a negative rune, it can indicate the unwillingness to accept advice given by the runes or another person, or it can indicate delays or slight problems that may impede the speedy resolution of the matter in question. Now, you actually got a rune stone that was reversed for this one, and that can be good or bad depending. It's just like tarot cards. And what you got is Rido, and it's the journey stone, and what it's reversed. So unexpected, unpleasant journeys, transit problems, upsetting plans, lost tickets, or communication. And that can go a lot of ways. It can go with you're gonna run into some things that you're not going to like spiritually, or if you're planning on going on a trip soon enough, it's going to run into it. Whatever the problem is in your head, it's you're going to run into an issue.
Okay.
All right. The next one is the problem that must be accepted and cannot be changed. Positive runes here show a lack of troublesome influences, oppositions, while negative runes show the obstacles to your success. And you pulled Answers, and this is a reference to the ancestral god Odin. It means a message from within. Listen to your little voice. It could be advice from others, a chance encounter, a careful thought, so you have to know what you do from this point in time. So what I'm getting from that is that you won't really run into any bad advice. You're not going to run into any bad advice. Your consciousness is going to lead you straight, and it's going to lead you true. And if you plan, if you think, and you move forward slowly and analytically, you should be okay. And now, the last one, the final outcome is... It's called Degaz. And it says, a new day begins and go to work. You become more insightful, breaking through your new ideas. Light is around you, and it cannot be reversed. There you go.
Very cool.
Looks like it's all going to work out in the end. You're going to run into some bumps, but you're going to get there.
Shit. That's life, man. That's all life always is. And without that, we wouldn't have the learning and growing that we do from it. Wouldn't be as profound, right? Those things make you remember. And so thank you very much. I appreciate it. I got to take my doggy out. I'll be back, guys.
Have fun.
Yeah. And playing in the rain.
All right. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. One.
She did, yes. I was just about to say that.
What was your thoughts, Melanie?
Sorry?
What were your thoughts? I know it didn't pertain to you, but
No. Well, I can't really say because the reading wasn't for me, but it sounded good. So it's whether it resonated with Burma or not.
yeah. All right, so
So
boom, boom. I'm gonna do a 5 spread for you. Do your thing, I suppose. Just let me know when you're good to go. I'm a bit of a goof. I'm sorry.
So go for it. Go for it, Sean.
All right, boom, boom. I am ready when you are.
There's some huge sound effects there. Whew.
What you mean?
Bam, 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 bam. I like was in an earthquake.
Oh, weird. Oh. All right, boom, boom. All right, so I'm just gonna go through this. I don't know what your situation is, but I'm gonna do the reading now. Your first one signifies your past and tells you what the past have caused you to be in your current position. And we got for you is called Laguz. And this says, and it's not reversed. The moon, the flow of emotions and all things into collective unconscious, all bodies of water, feminine energies, a higher mind, spirituality, health and healing, or a time of cleansing. So whatever it is the issue is right now, it seems pretty positive that you've been dealing with a lot of emotions. You've been trying to heal yourself and obtain a higher spirituality. Let that sink in. The next one is the help that you can expect to receive from the problem at hand. If there is a negative rune here, it will indicate an unwillingness to accept the advice given by the runes or another person, or it can indicate delays or slight problems that may impede the speedy resolution of the matter at hand. Now, this is a long one. All right, so we've got Perthro. It also means initiation, things unexplained, or something hidden. A hierarchic or mystery rune pointing to that which is beyond our frail manipulative powers. Perth is associated with the phoenix, the mystical bird which consumes itself in fire, then rises from its own ashes. Its ways are secret and hidden. Powerful forces of change are at work here, yet what is achieved is not usually readied or shared. After all becoming whole in the means of it, it is a profound secret. On the side of earth or mundane, there may be surprises, gains, or rewards that you do not anticipate. On one side of human nature, this rune is symbolized by the flight of an eagle, soaring flight free from entanglement, lifting yourself above the endless ebb and flow of ordinary life to acquire a broader vision, all that is indicated here. Perth stands for the heart of intuition. Nothing external matters here except it shows that you and its inner reflections. This rune concerned with the deepest stratum of our being, the bedrock of which our destiny is founded. For some, Perth means experiencing some form of death or transition. It is letting go of everything, no exceptions, no exclusions. Nothing less than the renewable spirit is at stake.
Bless you.
Thank you. I had to sneeze. I apologize.
That's
Hidden
all right.
information and truths, mysteries, esoteric, that which may is unknown. On a conscious level, it could come into light and you would understand the higher meaning of things. It's not reversed. What it really means is that it's a lot, I know, but you're going to read this again. This particular rune is what you can expect to receive from the problem at hand, which from the looks of it means that you're going to learn a lot about yourself, and you're going to have a death in some way. It doesn't mean you're actually going to die. It could be the death of a way of thinking, or the death of an idea, the death of who you were into this being that you wish to become, which makes sense from your previous rune, if I can find it again, which was emotion. You're trying to find a higher mind, higher spirituality, and it looks like you just might. But that is the help that you can expect to get. So do not repeat the old. Do not repeat what you've been doing. Let it go. Let that version of you die so you can become a better person, a better spirit. Now, your next one is the aspects of the problem that must be accepted and cannot be changed. And this one is, it's called Manaz, which is the nature of humanity. The self in its place in the collective conscious of humanity. We are all part of a collective unconscious. We are all one. Your attitude and their attitudes towards you. Take time for personal reflection. It cannot be reversed. So basically what it's saying is you have to accept people for being people. You have to accept humans for what they are and don't hold it against them. Because this is a problem that you have to accept and cannot be changed. We cannot change that we are humans, but you need to accept that humans are going to be humans. Now, 5 is the result rune, and this indicates the final outcome. Which is called Iwaz, or the sacred horse, and it was pulled reversed. And it means a sudden, unexpected change that is not wanted. So you're not going to want what happens, and it's going to be unexpected. But from what it looks like is that you need to, on this path of a higher consciousness, of self-enlightenment, of self-healing, you need to accept humans that must be humans. They have to be humans. You cannot expect them to be anything else. Let your past go, because your past is not necessarily what defines you. And your last one bothers me because something's going to happen and you're not going to like it because of this. You may lose a friend that you've had for a long time. You may be removed from some particular social circles. But if you stick to your guns, don't let your past bother you, and accept humans as humans, I think you'll be okay. And that's it. If you want to message me on Discord to ask some questions, you can. Boom Boom. I do have you there, so.
I want to be next, please.
You can most definitely be next.
Thank you. Let me constipate. Concentrate.
You constipate?
Sorry about that, but there are many things that can help you, Michelle.
I know there are like laxatives. Okay, hold on. I'm supposed to concentrate, right? Hold on. 1 second.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready, Freddy?
All right. I have to do this. Don't judge me.
I'm totally judging. If you can hear me.
Of course I can hear you.
I'm just messing with you.
Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Get down tonight. I have returned. Michelle, are you ready? For this, I'm sure, really crappy rune reading.
Let's do this. Mel knows what I'm thinking. She's the only one. I sent her a message. So let's see. Let's see. I'm excited.
All right. The first one signifies the past and will tell you what in the past has caused you to be in your current position. And for this, I pulled Tewaz, which, I pulled it reversed, which means a low energy or a lack of enthusiasm. That can go a lot of ways. I'll let you decipher on what your problem is, if that fits. Your second one. Wait. Oh, no, sorry. Missed one. Your problem as it is now is your number one. It can be state of mind or, tongue-tied. And your problem currently is waiting, because I have to find it. Sorry, I like to be funny sometimes. Not really work. All right, so you got Laguz, which is emotions. The flow of emotions of all things in the collective unconscious, all bodies of water, Aquarius, feminine energies, a higher mind, spirituality, health and healing, or a time of cleansing. So, looks like you are cleansing yourself, because it can also refer to a state of mind. Once again, I don't know your current situation, so I can't really speak on it. But it looks like you're doing the right things. I know this is really, a really bad reading. Anyways, as your number two, which was the past, and that caused you to be in your current position, which is cleansing, was low energy or lack of enthusiasm. So you could have just been unenthusiastic in your life. You could have had, as far as low energy goes, it could be low spiritual energy. And right now, right now is your current problem. You could be going through a time of spiritual cleansing. And that's what I'm getting from that thus far. Now, your third one indicates the help that you can expect to receive from the problem at hand. If there's a negative rune here, it can indicate an unwillingness to accept advice given by the runes or another person, or can indicate delays or slight problems that may impede the speedy resolution in the matter of the question. Now, for this one, I don't think this one's negative, to be honest with you. You okay? This is a good one. You've got a Wunjo, which is bliss or glory. And here's what it says. You do not need anybody. Peace, pleasure, self-worth, joy, and serenity, happy results, harmony, or prosperity. So, in the problem at hand, whatever it may be, you can expect to find some very, very good things. If you're cleansing yourself, as these runestones have stated, you will find peace, some self-worth, some joy, and some serenity, some harmony, and your overall life is going to get better, because it does include prosperity. Now, prosperity doesn't necessarily mean money. It could mean an abundance of love, or just a really nice life. Number 4 indicates the aspects of the problem that have to be accepted and cannot be changed. And for this one, you got Hangouts. And this refers to the destructive forces of nature and things that are out of our control. And things that are out of our control, you can't change things that aren't out of your control. So I suppose that one speaks for itself. And your last one is the result rune. Rune indicates the final outcome. I just want to go back to your number 4, because I've never drawn that one in that particular position. It reminds me of Harry Potter, when Lupin told Harry that he had nothing to fear but fear itself. Like, it literally says, you can accept. The problem is that things cannot be changed. That there are things out of your control, and you have to accept that. That there are some things that you're just not going to be able to control. And that's just what it is. That is what it is. And for your 5th one, or the result rune, the final outcome is X. X marks the spot. It looks like an X. It's called Jibo. Unity with self and all others, especially with our higher selves, nature, and all things around us, cannot be reversed. So, from your entire reading, here's what I got. You're currently going through some cleansing, which was the result of lack of enthusiasm or some low energy. And what you can come to find out of this is, what's going to help you is going to be brain fart. I have to find it. What you're going to get out of it is, I have to find it. Where is it? Where is it? Give me a second. I gotta find it. I feel really prickly, like somebody's judging me.
No one's judging you. I was before, but maybe it's just a little delayed.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm judging you. It's like totally like, what?
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't you feel better now?
No. No.
I'm not judging you, sweetheart. I'm listening. I'm trying to like put the pieces into place. I know that we're in a time without time. So like, even if you're reading it, it could be something in the past.
Here's what I got.
Yeah.
You started cleansing yourself because you had low energy or lack of enthusiasm. And help that you're going to expect to receive is some peace, is some pleasure, some self-worth. Remember, you don't need anybody. You are your own person. And what you have to accept, that there's things that you're out of your control. In order to achieve the problem at hand and have it resolve, accept that there are things that you can't control. And it looks like by the end of all this, you're going to be a much better person. You're going to be more connected to your higher self. You're going to be more in connection with yourself and with nature. So keep on cleansing, because it looks like it's going to work out for you.
Sean, is it possible? Because is this possible? As Michelle piped up and said she wanted a reading next. I'd unmuted. I was just about, and I was thinking before that I would like a reading next. Is it possible that that reading was more to do with me than Michelle?
It is possible. It depends. It depends on. There's a lot of things that could go into it. Really, I give it to the universe. Whoever needed that reading more got the reading. If you were thinking at the same time that you needed a reading as she did, then the universe could have chosen that reading to go to you, or you both might have wanted to hear it.
It definitely resonates with me. What about you, Michelle?
Well, you know what my question was that I was concentrating on, so it kind of, it didn't kind of hit it, but that's okay. You know what? Energy is a finicky little thing, so, you know, parts of it did, you know, but if we're not, you know, as the concept of time is that, you know, it's all now, you could be looking at past, present, future collapsed all into one. So what he's saying is a now could have been something that was going on a few years ago for me, but it still looks like now, to, you know, so it could have been a progression. So I'm not gonna, you know, discount what he did. It could have been a blend of both of us.
It also doesn't specify a specific time limit either.
Right,
it doesn't say the far past. It's just past, present, and future. And honestly, whoever it was for, it's a good reading. It is. It's a very positive reading.
Yeah, it is. I'd just like to raise, thank you very much.
They need to stop judgments. Drop that stuff. Chuck it. Chuck the judgments. Don't try and, you know, especially when somebody's opening their vessel, you know, on an energetic level, we got to be kind to each other. Be gentle.
Sorry, I don't. Right? Who's judging who?
I just like.
I'm sorry, I was judging him.
when I was like trying to sum it up, when somebody's judging me, my skin gets hot and prickly, and I could feel it. Might not have been anybody in the panel, but it might have been somebody like watching in chat judging me.
Oh,
somebody,
right, okay.
somebody
it wasn't me. I was just
judging
joking.
me.
I'm not a judger.
You're not Bob.
I can't hear you.
I'm not Bob. What'd you say?
Burma, I can't hear you.
She can't hear you.
What the heck?
She says, "What the heck?"
I'd like to just raise a concern that one of our viewers has put out. Is called Jimmy, and Jimmy has some anxiety by the sounds of it, because he's woken up and he says his body is different. His family are the same, but his body is different. He doesn't feel that he looked like this before, but his family feels he did look like this before. I'd just like to say, Jimmy, I mean, that's a pretty difficult thing to go through. But one of the theories about the Mandela Effect is that our consciousnesses are jumping into different versions of ourselves and different timelines. And when that occurs, then we notice physical changes to our bodies, as well as our reality. So it sounds to me like that's possibly something that you have experienced.
No, and you're in good company here, Jimmy. We're not going to think you're crazy. We've all been through it. Some of us for a few years now, and it definitely is kind of mind blowing when you first enter into the Mandela Effect, opening your consciousness, the whole 9 yards. So,
trust me, Jimmy. All the best people are crazy, and you're in good company. In fact, I don't think there's really any better company that you could find yourself in to talk about this with, because all of us, we're all nuts.
Like, I don't know, physical changes. Like there's a couple. Are you pointing at me? Because I can see you pointing. Don't point at me. Point at yourself. So I have a birthmark, right? The birthmark's always been on this side. Now it's on this side. I have a scar on my shoulder here from my surgery that I swear moves up and down. And I have a tattoo on it, so I can tell that it moves. So sometimes it's weird. So trust me, I'm sure the panel has other stories that could, you know, tell you that they have differences in their own bodies that we're all noticing, you know, changes.
I can attest to that because one day I woke up and people didn't think I was attractive, and about 5 years later, people started calling me attractive. But that's a joke.
Well, I would say, you know,
Was that like a
definitely
Bob
as
joke?
as we experience, all of us go through our different experiences. You guys hear me?
But we have all noticed.
You're interrupting Captain Melanie. Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum. Oh yeah, I'm not working on Discord. For some reason my Discord's not
We
working.
have all noticed physical changes in ourselves and our reality and other people. So,
you're interrupting Captain. The captain's Captain's trying to talk.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, he left the Discord.
That's okay. The definitely, you know, we all go through our experiences, and for me, I believe that this construct we find ourselves in, molds itself around the, you know, it molds itself around us, so it tries to communicate in ways that we understand personally to us in that way. So even though we might not all go through the same experiences, we might go through some similar experiences, or we might go through different experiences that has taught us the same conclusion, and that's kind of what we discuss in Discord, and the different effects and the different experiences that we have experienced, and share it with others to see if they can take from what we've experienced and add it to theirs as to try to come up to the conclusion we all are seeking.
Speaking of, it has kind of to do with the Mandela Effect, but I'm going to sound really crazy here for a second. What I noticed, I've been doing a lot of research into a lot of things, and what I've noticed is that the occurrences of the Mandela Effect are concurrent with the amount of extraterrestrial sightings there have been lately, and they might coincide, they might not, but I think that we're gearing up for something pretty major here soon. Something's going to happen. I don't know if anybody else can feel it, but I can feel it. So I don't know, maybe dimensions are starting to touch and shift a little bit more as Gaia's consciousness raises. And maybe there are life forms out there that are attracted to that energy. Who knows?
Hey, Sean, I wanted to add something on the rune read. For some reason, it's like Mel's the logical side of my brain, and I'm the like spiritual side. So we're almost like melding into one person, kind of like when you think of Bob and Magi, they're like right and left side of each other's brains, you know. That seems to be what's happening with Mel and I. So that read could actually mold over into both of us, and you did a bang up job. Thank you very much.
Are you guys sharing a brain?
It's like that sometimes.
It really is. I mean, it's like we both step in and do the same things at the same time. We're going through similar things, and we both have similar testimonies, similar experiences. So
you guys are probably twin flames.
Well, no, except for she loves Bilu. Now, don't go near her man. Don't even touch her man. Bilu in the bushes is her man. That's it. Don't say anything cross about him. And I won't, because I respect her. I will let her and Bilu do their thing. That's all I have to say about that.
I swear sometimes I hear her voice in my head and she doesn't come up on the screen.
You know, it's scary. It's scary when you talk to yourself and someone else answers.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're crazy.
Well, hold on, Mel. I was giving you a synopsis of what Captain was saying, since you cannot hear him. It was very, very profound.
Thank you.
So I was keeping you up with what he was dropping. So
I'm really bad. I
You
told her
weren't, like,
before that I would,
out of
that I
body
would
or
do
anything.
before, and I totally was like, just didn't even. Oh my goodness, yeah, I can't multitask. You're lucky that I could chat in the chat room and talk at the same time. Like,
Are you talking about, because you were talking this minute ago and you were talking in my ear, but you weren't coming, talking on the live stream.
I don't know.
Just a minute ago, you was muted, but you were saying something. I could hear you, but no one
Oh
else could.
yeah, I was saying something, but it's okay. I was just gonna say that for Jimmy, make sure you come into Discord, because if you are having, you know, this much of an issue, we will definitely sit and talk with you and help you. The whole entire group will help you out. It's not new to any of us, and we've all come to a, you know,
Consensus.
most of us are pretty much okay with it now, but we weren't always this way. You know what I mean? When we first started, right? I mean, like, we felt quite mad. We still kind of feel quite mad some days, you know?
You mean mad as in like crazy, or mad as in angry? Because I can't tell.
Mad isn't crazy. Not mad as in we're all a little mad, like the Alice in Wonderland kind of thing, you know?
Well, I actually quoted the Mad Hatter earlier, but you didn't even catch it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm slow today, I'm telling you. I mean, people have been talking, and I'm just like drifting. It never happens for me. I'm never like that. That's why I said it's the energy's off today. Definitely off.
I never caught it either. Sorry.
What are you smelling? You look addicted, Mel. What are you smelling?
It's white sage.
It's my white sage.
Oh, she's like.
Now that was a witch cackle if I've ever heard one.
Get a little Hitler mustache going there. You get too close.
Yeah. Oh, the one that.
Jimmy said he's left-handed now. Wow, that's quite a profound change.
I bet that like feels natural, but like if you think about it, it feels really, really weird.
Right. Can you write ambidextrously? Is that a word? Ambidextrously?
Yeah.
Ambidextrous? Would it be ambidextrously? I don't know. Can you write ambidextrous? Both hands?
Can you do it ambidextrously?
Oh, ha ha! Jimmy, we're talking to you.
Look, you have to understand that the chat is actually lagging with the video. So, do you know?
Yeah, I do know. I do. Are you getting up in my face? Because I'm watching Mel. I'm not watching you. Mel looks so pretty tonight. It's not switching off for me for some reason.
If I get any closer to you, I'm going to run into your nose.
All the time. I watched her several times before the show, getting high on stage. Yeah, it's like, and then we all get goofy, and it's her. She's getting high on stage, and it's contagious.
She's like,
I know. They all have popping on. It's like, what the heck?
I know. I thought it was like a mushroom or something. She's like, I'm waiting to eat it.
Even the cop box, and she had food in her hand at first. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm actually really upset because I did a tab of acid the other day, and I didn't even talk to you guys.
Oh, nice.
Hey?
He did some. He said he did
So
a
quiet
tab.
on the set.
I know, right? Yeah, totally shut everybody down. Nobody spoke after that.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Please explain
Did you say
yourself.
tab
sir.
acid? Is that not what you just said?
Yeah, LSD.
Yeah, LSD.
Oh, you dropped acid. Oh, well, you went on.
Oh, right.
You
And he
went
said
on
he
a
didn't even
trip.
talk to us afterwards. That's nice of you.
I know.
He'd be like, I see pink elephants.
No, actually,
Information we could have got.
Actually, what's crazy is I was looking at a light and I closed my eyes, and on the back of my eyelids I saw the fabric of the universe in mathematical form. Not kidding. Like the Fibonacci sequence was everywhere.
Wow.
No, I haven't tried psychedelics. I wanted to try ayahuasca sometime in the future here, but I definitely be interested in seeing.
I actually have a friend out in California that can get me ayahuasca. Oh, Melanie's
Yeah,
gone.
I kind of want to take it with someone like a trained shaman, someone native or
Yeah,
down
right.
in Mexico.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Well, there's like there are for the ayahuasca, even the DMT. There are like spiritual places that you can hook up with, and they'll take you, and you do a spiritual thing, and do those things, whatever. They're not cheap though.
Do you know where to get DMT?
Absolutely not.
Damn it!
Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you on here. But no.
But I know that if you do like send it out to the universe, maybe you can bring somebody into your life that can help you with that. Because I've ran into some people that had a spiritual connection to a church that did it that way. They went on a spiritual retreat, and it's under that whole thing. So then it makes it on a legal side instead of it being one of these illegal things.
Well, I've asked the universe for it, and the universe has always told me it's not yet your time.
There you go.
So
There
mad.
you go. Yeah.
So mad about it.
I was gonna try mushrooms one time. Can't really seem to get a hold of them. So
they taste like crap.
They do. I did them when I was young.
Well, I mean, I've grown in crap, so.
Yeah, eat them in a PB&J sandwich.
You have to like pizza. Chop them down.
Well, no, like the heat will actually dissipate the psilocybin.
No, you don't do like hot right out of the oven pizza. Come on now. If you get it delivered, it's cold enough.
You just throw it on top of the pizza already cooked.
That's right. Just put it right on top of it. And you just shove it in. And you don't mind the taste because it doesn't taste good. It's not like mushrooms, because I love mushrooms. Like regular mushrooms, love mushrooms. Sauteed and raw.
Okay.
Love them all.
PG-13, guys. Let's get back on to PG-13.
Does she want PG-13?
We were making it into food.
It's around the same. It's around the same realm, right?
I mean, I know 13-year-olds who.
Okay, just for the people that are viewing, I do not do drugs. I experimented when I was a child, but at this present time, no, that's just not. And no, we are not a bunch of druggies here. He just had an experience, apparently a first-time experience, and we're showing interest in it. So I just wanted to state that no, we're not a bunch of trippers, and we do make fun of her sage burning, but it's a joke. Okay, so we're not trying to offend anybody.
You're such a goody two shoes.
We don't endorse any.
No, we don't. Are not endorsing
any drugs or any psychedelics. We're just speaking
I
of our
won't.
experiences. And
I won't endorse them.
Things that weird.
I won't endorse them, but I won't tell you to run away from them either.
There is a kind of thing in the kind of awakened community, or whatever you want to call it, I think, where there's this kind of message that goes out, for example, with ayahuasca, that, if you want to become awakened, then you need to do ayahuasca or something along those lines. I don't believe that's true. I believe that, it's in all of us. Through meditation, then you can achieve the same goals. And in fact, some people who do things too early, they try to take shortcuts like ayahuasca, etc. They can have quite negative experiences. So yeah, I would advise caution. I know it's different in different parts of the world, the legality of these things. So if you're in a place where it is legal, etc., then myself, I would advise caution with it.
Exactly. I would say research. Yeah, just research. Don't just jump into it thinking it's going to awaken you. I personally, like I said, I haven't taken any psychedelics. I've had experiences, quite intense experiences. So I know it's not it's not mandatory for someone to take psychedelics to get there. I just want to get there to see if I can get back or maybe find some more information out from at the end more from the experience. So I would say I would recommend that you do your research on it. Try to, like Amber said, do meditation. Try other ways to start and focus and bring your spirituality up to a higher vibration, and then consider that if you are considering it, and I would recommend finding someone that's educated in it, a shaman or a spiritual leader of that kind.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, do we want to try to meditate?
Yes.
Is it? Okay, Burma. All right, no worries. We'll speak to you later. Thanks. Oh,
What was
that's
that?
Michelle.
What was that?
I'm confused.
Oh no, no, it's okay, honey.
Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. Michelle's talking in my ear again. She's saying she's too tired to meditate. She'll probably fall asleep, so she's just going to listen and not meditate. Sorry, Burma.
I need to take my shoes off.
No worries, dear. But I think I'm going to go too because I was up early and I just got home from work before I got on with you guys. So maybe I'll hop into Discord after you guys get off. But I'm going to take off and I have to do some stuff around the house. So
okay, Burma.
I appreciate the invite as always, Mel. Thank you very much for being such a good host. And
You're welcome.
see you guys later. Oh, you're welcome, dear.
All right, I'll speak to you later.
All right, bye, dear.
Well, then,
all right, bye.
Miss Burma's going to be stepping out. I would like to say thank you to everybody too, and I'm going to go ahead and tap out too. Peace, guys. It's been great. Had a good time. I'll talk to you guys in Discord in a little bit.
See you, Michelle.
Okay. No worries. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn my camera off, and I'm trying to adjust the laptop to bring it closer to me because my voice tends to go quiet.
And I'm going to mute myself. So I'm still here.
Yes.
I'm just gonna mute myself. I'm going to turn my camera off because I don't want people just staring at me while I meditate.
Okay. Okay, can somebody in the chat, I'm just going to put my voice quite low. Can you tell me, please, if you can still hear it okay? So how does this sound? Can somebody in the chat please say whether my voice is loud enough? Okay, thank you, Sean. So just for those who may watch this video later, a word of caution is not to do a meditation if you're expecting to be driving or operate heavy machinery that day. Before you begin to meditate, place yourself into a position where you can relax, where there will be minimal distractions around you. If possible, you want your legs and your arms supported. So we begin the meditation by taking in slow, deep breaths through your nose, completely filling your lungs, and then slowly exhaling through your mouth. Concentrate on the sensation of the air passing in through your nose. Feel your bellies rise as you fill your lungs. Feel the air passing over your tongue as it exits through your mouth. As you're breathing, ensure every muscle is relaxed. Try to keep your breaths even. Feel your heartbeat slow as you're breathing slow. You may begin to feel some tingling in the soles of your feet, palms of your hands. This is the energy of Gaia entering into your physical body. As you become more in tune to these energies, you feel this tingling spread up through your legs and your arms. This energy circulates through every organ, every bone, every cell of your body. Bringing vital energy to nourish your energy body. It is a cleansing energy, a healing energy, repairing and activating your DNA. You follow its spread throughout your body. And as it enters your head, you see this energy pouring into and activating your pineal gland, energizing the crystals which surround it. As your pineal gland activates, you feel a slight pressure over the top of your head. This is your crown chakra open. And down through your crown chakra, you see a cord of white light with white energy descending through your crown chakra into the top of your head. This white energy begins to fill your body from the top of your head. It passes down into your chest, your arms and your torso, driving out and ahead of it any darker, denser, negative energy. All stresses and anxieties simply flow out of you as you become completely filled with white light. Once you are completely filled with white light, it flows out through your skin to completely surround you, filling your aura, cleansing it of any negative attachments, creating a space around you where only energy of pure love and positivity may enter. And now focus your attention upon your heart area. Visualize an energy vortex centered over your heart. You might see it as green in color. This is your heart chakra. You see a golden cord of light. This cord extends from your heart chakra down into the earth. This is your connection to Gaia. This is your connection to your higher self. And now we are going to visit a place where we can experience Gaia. Visualize yourself standing on a beautiful beach. Your eyes are closed, but you can feel the sensation of the sand under the soles of your feet.